Don't be quiet, Deco. Anyway, hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of GT2 World Series from South City Long tonight. Penultimate round of the championship. And it's probably going to be a very, very chaotic race knowing South City. But then again, we normally say that and it normally doesn't happen. So I'm joined tonight by Chris Wilkinson. Hello, Chris.
Good evening, Christopher. How are you?
Oh, I'm magnificent, and also I'm joined by Thilo Falkenberg, giving us a continental approach to the proceedings today.
Yeah, very continental German approach. Hello, everyone.
And our safety car pulls away for a change. We don't actually have anybody at the back of the grid, or who misqualified and need to start at the pit lane today. We do, however, have a bit of a tracker thing that's causing a bit of a lag for some reason. Not entirely sure what's going on there. Last weekend at LFS Car, of course, we did actually have a massive timeout of quite a few of the people who were actually in the race. So let's hope that doesn't actually happen here today, and let's hope we actually get away cleanly and don't have issues with the server. So, Chris Wilkinson is talking to. Actually, no, Thilo, it's the server, weren't we? Actually, sorry,
yeah,
a bit faint.
Yeah, we've had two last timers, one during the race and the second trying to restart the race. But since there's no new update, proclaimed by the developers, I don't think that there's any
Points on the screen for convenience. Western Wolves lead the championship, but they're no longer called Western Wolves, they're now called INEX Racing. Core Racing Pro are in second position, with Genuine Racing Pro are in third, with their amateur car, the top amateur, in fourth. The pro standings are the top three. But in the amateur class, Genuine Racing Amateur lead by 26 points, and Core Racing Amateur with HT Motorsport now in third, ahead of Bazinga, who are in fourth spot. The grid today, pole position for Core Racing Pro, a fantastic battle with NX Racing. Asher Price, this time in an XR as opposed to the FZR, are third, with Genuine Racing Pro in fourth position. Infinity Esports are in fifth, with Team Rock Racing in amateur in sixth. Team Virus Pro are in seventh, with Conquest Pro in eighth. Genuine Racing Amateur are in 10th, with Bazinga 11th, and Team Rocky Racing, yes, that might get confusing, they're also an amateur car in 11th. Last Up Most Pro are in a pretty good for them 12th position on the grid, with Cookie Monster Racing 13th. I'm not entirely sure they're here today. Savage Sun Sports Amateur are on 14th, with Raptor Gaming 15th.
Yes, Chris, and they're going dual file now, so we should probably focus on that at the moment, should we?
Yes, we probably should. Yeah, that was quick. Until I wasn't really in game, but here we go. There we go.
And the start is aborted.
Start, retry next lap.
Okay, the start has been abandoned.
Yep, not 100% sure everyone really realises that yet, but they're all there now. And, finally everyone slows down and tries to get back into their single file formation, if they can remember it. I certainly can't, so good luck to them.
I'll continue with the grid, I suppose, then.
Go for it.
Most of the last lap, but Congress Racing Amateur 16th on the grid, Team Rock Racing Pro in 17th, with R-Force in 18th, they're an amateur car. 19th, Team Virus Amateur, with WCL Racing 20th, Speedo Racing in Nightmare yesterday for them in oh, for crying out loud, the tracker's updated. Apparently Asher Price are now in pole position, but they're not, so we're just going to have to give up and say Speedo 21st.
Where were you, Chris? Where were you, Chris? Because I have a qualifying results thing here. Where were you? What position?
Oh good, there's a qualifying results thing. Challenge Racing Team 22nd with
Hey.
Absolute.
In 23rd, we've got Absolute Beginners. In 24th, Last Lap Motorsports Amateurs. In 25th, HT Motorsport. In 26th, Savage Sun Sports Pro. Quite an upset. Pretty far down. 27th, Core Racing Amateurs. 28th, Angry Angus Racing. 29th, Revolutionary Racing. And the only car which did not qualify but also did not appear here today is Speed Desire, the number 28 car.
There are Pro-Am. Oh, of course, Pro-Am classifications. They're not different cars, they all have the same restrictions. Somebody hits the wall there. on the straight. Not entirely sure who that was, but of course Pro is not. It's just it means that amateur class are scoring in different category from Pro. There's an overall championship as well. Doesn't mean they're a different class of car. They're not. Right,
No,
here we
it's
go
all-
again. Will they
go
get
on.
away this time? They're doubling up. I do see it this time, thankfully very much. Right then. Usela, even in Price, Ivanov. Who is going to get the jump at the start? In 2008 IGTC, they didn't even make it to turn 1 without crashing. Will they make it this time? Usela hugs the inside line, not wanting to give Price a chance to try and come through past him. Even though will get the outside, even makes a fantastic start, far better.
Contact.
Price comes across, it hits Ivanov. Very aggressive
And
driving
Price
at the start
through
there. Usela
to
tries to
Sailor.
squeeze Price into the wall. That was... there's a crash already. It's turn
there's a
1,
big
and it's just
accident
like
in turn one
IGTC 2008.
Car
Huge
upside down.
crash in the back.
There's a car upside down. That's Speedo Racing on his roof.
Safety car boards and flags. Safety car boards and flags.
one.
Safety car please hold.
A lot of incidents there in the back. We've got, as we say, one car on his roof, and Stuart Baker will be coming out a lot sooner than he ever expected, I think, guys.
Well, he's got quite some experience with such things, so I think maybe he could have expected it. Maybe he has expected it.
Yep, our safety car driver Stuart Baker will be on track very, very shortly, and Reno Coots in the Speedo Racing Pro car is the one that's suffered. He's upside down on the exit of turn 1 and will not continue, guys.
Yeah, out of the race means out of the race.
Looking now at the running order as is, it seems that Timo Evening of Inex Racing has jumped over into the lead.
Safety car scramble. Safety car scramble.
Sailor for Core Racing Pro second, and Isaac Price holds on to third for Sir Price Racing. Am I saying that right?
Yep.
Wow. Oh, a little bit of contact, in fact, in the safety car conditions between Virus and Team Rock Racing.
So a disastrous weekend overall for Speedo is over. It's really, that is the end now, surely 100,000,000% of their championship challenge. And disaster yesterday in qualifying, only 21st out in the first parts of qualifying, out before even turn 1 this time.
A few cars making to the pit lane. We've got a Rabo driving for Savage Sim Sports in the amateur class, and Generic Racing's Makanu, Genuine Racing, sorry, who is sitting fourth in the championship right now in their amateur car, the highest placed amateur.
Welcome back, Chris Wilkinson again. It's good to have you here. I'm sure Genuine Racing are happy to have you back as well. Or should I say Generic Racing?
Sorry, Genuine. Sorry, Genuine. I am really sorry.
We're currently having a wee look back to see exactly what happened to Speedo.
So, if you're wanting to communicate about the GT2 World Series, you can join the NDR IRC. I don't know how, but you can. Also, you can use the hashtag on Twitter, hashtag GT2WS, and it will show up on the chat thing in the broadcast. Wow. How technology has come on since I was last here.
As Phil Dez's streaming capabilities continue to amaze the small-minded nature of the commentators in this broadcast.
Oh, it's incredible, isn't it? It's absolutely incredible. He should be given a knighthood.
Anyway, it seems as though quite a lot of people into the first corner sort of forgot there was a chicane thing there, so that's what sort of caused the crash. So it's all I can really think about when I watch that. Basically, there's a small little sort of chicane thing before turn 1. It's not really a chicane if you're on your own, but at the start there, if you're going quite wide, a wall sort of juts out and, well...
Yeah, I don't know if Phil, you can get up the track map onto the stream at the moment. Yes, you can. That's West Hill, Philip. That's West Hill.
Of course, we're not in West Hill.
A message from Dominik Engel who says, "Wilco, if you call Genuine Racing generic one more time, I will stab you."
The threat of violence there. Lovely. Thanks, Dominic. So at the moment, can't show you what the track actually looks like, but we're working on it, and if we can, we will. But it is it's a very strange layout in that the track does thin because of the little kink, doesn't it? I'm going to just affirm that, madam. Yes,
it does. Yes. I'm just reading IRC. People are getting angry. Anyway, Mr. Wilkinson, I think it's your turn to take a restart, since you'll be doing the majority of the commentating during this race, since I will be disappearing. I think it's up to you for this one.
Oh, thank you, baby.
But don't call Genuine Racing generic.
Okay, I'll do my very
Safety
best.
car in this lap.
So the safety car will be coming in this lap. We have the correct track map apparently up on the stream. Yes, we do, and as you can see, or you might be able to see if you've got incredible eyesight, there is quite a little kink there coming into turn 1. Not so much that you've got to actually change your line in particular, but there is one straight line through it, and trying to go 2 abreast really can cause some problems there, let alone 4 or 5 abreast that they were trying there. But let's have another go, starting from a single file. It will be NX Racing's Timo Ivanen who will take the restart. They cross the first safety line. He's already on the throttle. I think he even touched the wall there on the exit of that corner.
Green flag.
There's the green flag flying.
Third start of the day.
Defending very, very heavily, Sailor there for Core Racing Pro from the car of Isaac Price, that XRR, squeezing him there into the wall, coming through that first corner chicane. Otherwise, everything looking fairly clean through that first corner. But as we come back to this battle for second place, Isaac Price nosing down on the inside of that Core Racing Pro car, losing a little bit of extra speed and maybe even putting himself in a little bit of damage with Genuine Racing's Ivanov. Ivanov as well on the bench for James Peace of Virus. Everyone getting a clean getaway this time around on the restart. Genuine Racing's amateur car there making contact with Sammy Simsports right at the back. They've got a mountain to climb. The amateur class leaders, the amateur championship leaders at the moment. But as it stands now, with a good restart for both Tim Weaver and Yasela for Inex and Core Pro respectively, they've pulled a big gap away from Isaac Price, haven't they, guys? Side by side between Pinto and Lamoth. Pinto on the inside, Lamoth for Last Lap Motorsports on the outside. Pinto seemingly making quite a comfortable move there if he doesn't go too wide. Doesn't. Manages to hold on to it in that FXR.
He's now in the slipstream of this bus-like FXR.
Yeah, and down the inside goes into turn 1. Been done before, it's actually quite a comfortable move, a flat out corner in these cars, and there we go, out of them back into 15th place.
Well, you didn't have to expect much fighting between those two, because they are actually in the same team, not in this championship, but in other championships.
Well, well, sometimes that means you're going to get even more fighting, though, doesn't it? Also, side-by-side and contact between Team Up Racing's person. Oh! Contact! Conquest in the wall there, coming up the hill into the left-hander.
Was he pushing him into the wall?
It's Jacob Cooper of Infinity Esports who gets the jump. Jumps 2 or 3 cars there with that bit of contact. Toth is having an incident in sector 2. Not sure what's happening there, but down the inside.
Oh, and Falkenberg spins him upside down. He's got the upside down.
And it's Daskovic for Conquest. Conquest has
That's gotta be a safety car.
Safety car boards and flags. Safety car scramble. Safety car scramble.
One of the most incredible things I've ever seen there. Core Racing driving into and then Conquest having contact again.
Yeah, Conquest trying to push over Conquest, it seemed.
But Core Racing managed to get stuck behind a lagging car as it just popped straight back into its existence on its roof. Strange situation there, but it is going to be the end of Conquest Racing Pro's race as they sit there on the exit of the very, very tight hairpin.
Yeah, and the initial cause of this very strange roll was Falkenberg for Raptor Gaming, who spun the Conquest car, and with the force of other cars approaching, he was simply pushed over.
Yep, he just kept his nose on the inside a little bit too long, and unfortunately contact was made and over he went. Toth making a pit stop. I'm not sure what his incident actually was, but he did have some form of slow time in sector 2 where we got a warning up here in the Conquer docks, but in the pits, repairing his damage. So I'm not sure what happened there straight away, but
I think Toth was the one that collided with Daskovic's rollover car. So I think that would be what was causing the yellow flag there.
I believe that he had it before that incident. It might have
There
been
was an
caused...
incident with Loft before that.
Yeah, going into the left hand. I'm not sure of the corner number, but on the uphill left hander there was contact and there was something happening there, so it might have been a knock-on effect from that. But he's back on. He can continue. He's not on his roof.
Oh, crash in the backfield. Okay. Some guys still not know how to behave during the safety car, it seems.
Oh my word. Well, the position of Daskovic's car has kind of put everyone in quite a disadvantage coming around here, and a lot of people actually making contact with the rescue car and the Daskovic's car there, Chris.
Well, it's a really awkward position, to be perfectly honest, because it is a very, very tight corner, and it is very, very easy to... What happened?
Someone else did it. Is all.
Yep, so Price lost position because he went too wide and got sort of trapped. But yeah, I mean, it was in a strange place because it narrows even further on the exit of the corner, so I can sort of understand why these people are sort of getting involved there. I think the safety car could have taken them on a slightly tighter line, but yeah, it's not the brightest of driving, is it really?
It is not like in the oval when the car upside down at one of the wards and the guys are still racing into the wreck. Because in this case you really cannot avoid this car once you get around the corner.
Yeah.
Angry Angus Racing today. They are racing in a pink car. Laughing at.
Nothing. Please continue.
In fact, they're not racing in a pink car.
No,
they're racing in a green and white car. Yeah.
Right, it's for
next round.
I knew there was a pink car in there somewhere, but yes, they're doing a special charity fundraiser for breast cancer, I do believe. It's just quickly, my internet's being very slow just as I start talking about this. This is sounding very professional. Yes, they're doing a fundraiser for the Canadian Breast Cancer Foundation, and they're raising money for it. And if they raise enough, they run with a pig skin, the colour of breast cancer awareness for the Kyoto round. Basically, if you raise $1,000, Jared needs cart for his next karting round will be coloured
Safety car
pink.
in this
Now we
lap.
all want to see Jared being pink cart, as long as we get pictures of it, of course. So go to a link that I believe is in
Run for the cure.
As a matter of fact, Chris, if you just click on Angry Angus Racing's name on the tracker, they're all made up in pink, and if you click on them, you go to their
yes,
their Run for the Cure site,
which is runforthecure.com/go/Angry Angus Racing to donate.
They've already made up
get
a
them in cart.
mighty $160. So please add more. Add any will be. That's a promise. But anyway, about ready to get the restart underway, and team are even and again going early.
Green flag, green flag.
Yes, indeed, he did go earlier. Something I wanted to talk about very quickly is actually that some of the runners and riders here today are running R2 all round on their cars. Now, that's a new
quite a
thing for
risky
South
strategy
City.
in
It's not
South
really.
City.
No, I wouldn't say so. It's just if you can maintain a decent tyre temperature, then your tyres will be fine. It's not really a tyre wear track. It's more of a tyre heat track.
Heat,
But if you can drive like a Jensen Button and drive sensibly, then it should be fine. So it's going to be very, very fascinating to see. Let's take, for instance, Genuine Racing and Core. They are on R2 R3 compound. How they can stay with Inex car and the Astura Price car and Infinity cars, because they're all on R2 R2, but the other two are on R2 R3. That's going to be quite interesting, because normally at South City the rear tyres on R2 R3 compound cars can get a little bit twitchy toward the end, but if the R2 people keep them behind during their heat peak, then it could be quite hard for the R2 R3 guys to pass them unless they run longer into the stint. So actually strategy is going to be quite interesting today.
By the way, there is a drive-through penalty for car 15 for overtaking the safety car. That's Challenge Racing Team, who also had this contact with the wrecked car during the safety car lap.
You heard it here first, Thomas. Team Evening getting off to a flying start in this phase of the race. He's at the fast lap, 134.64, and of course he would. After a restart like that. Corporal, though, still keeping on his bumper, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, another thing to add about the R2 R3 thing is that the R2 guys probably have a bit of an advantage now because they don't have to go straight to the hour. We're already 22 minutes into this race. We've only had 11 laps done thanks to people rolling. So it's going to be quite interesting.
Start.
Meanwhile, contact between the 93 and the 96 car, the 93 car coming out much worse. Limetti's been in the wall. Also in the wall, seemingly, are Team Rock Racing's Chong in the 67 car. He seems to have been in the wall, judging by the state of his car.
I think that's officially called Team Rocky Racing, and we've got yellow flags.
Lamoth in the hairpin, he's as well as the 13 and 11 car. They've all had to come in together in the hairpin. And absolute beginners going side by side now with WCL Racing. Will Crash League, yes. Down the inside goes Katla. Makes place for World Crash League. LLM side by side with Core Racing's amateur effort as well. And holding it around the outside, doing that kink into turn one, and turn one was held by the Team Rock Racing driver. Still defensive back there. Over 17.
Oh, big
Late.
shunt! LLM and Absolute Beginners getting together there. Now the whole car of Absolute Beginners is bended.
Yeah, that's going to be a slow lap for them.
Oh.
But out in front, it is still Timu Evening for Inex Racing, holding the front of the field with Sailor for Core Racing Pro in hot pursuit. Meanwhile, James Peace hounding the back of Isaac Price XRR, coming down the long back straight in the slipstream. Will he make a move to the inside? Isaac Price defending that inside line, holding the middle of the road. And now and James Peace there touching the wall, having to squeeze trying the outside, trying to just hold his speed and bend him. And Isaac just pushing him slightly into the wall, and no damage done. But it should just race James Peace a little bit more.
At the moment there's a 2-car breakaway for first and second, a 3-car breakaway for third, fourth and fifth, and then there's a massive, great big long train from 6th to 18th almost. Look at this. We have Last Lap Motorsports and Raptor Gaming down the inside, shoving it right down the inside, sticking it as hard as they possibly could down the inside, but they still couldn't make it past. That hairpin, I'm Irish all of a sudden, hairpin, actually you can run around the outside just as easily as you can run around the inside there, so it's actually an interesting place for side-by-side racing. Cooper really holding up everybody else at the moment though.
They are, but also holding everybody else. Jacob Cooper, as he nearly got attacked there by triple.
Two T-Rock racing side-by-sides.
That.
The pro car overtaking the amateur car, because the amateur car got in the wall trying to come to the inside of Cooper. Be careful not to hit each other into the hairpin. Last Lap Motorsports think we'd go down the inside. Raptor think we'd go down the inside as well. So now it's up to Oscar making another return to Live for Speed in the Team Rock Racing car to try and come past Cooper for 6th spot. Team Rock Racing Pro actually made up quite a few positions at the start of this race. How hard is Cooper going to defend against Oscar?
Well, let's find out. Not
very
amazing, not very, no. Down the inside comes Tommy Osgard into this final hairpin. And makes things look easy there. There's Tommy Osgard, Jacob Cooper, as you say, not putting up much of a fight. And now we'll be able to see if Team Rocks Racing's amateur team can squeeze his way past that Infinity Esports effort.
As fast as that race goes to Core as they try to come behind Inex.
Yeah, they're still hunting down.
Oh, down the inside with the Team Rock Racing amateur car, and someone Cooper just leaves just enough room. He must have seen that very late. That's a brave bit to drive from Team Rock Racing amateur, and there's an Absolute Beginners car coming out of the pits. Cooper trying to think about going back up the inside to turn number 3. Not quite, leaving just enough room. No, they don't the exit though. Cooper and Shinetti managing to save it, and Cooper loses 2 places to 2 TRR cars in 2 corners.
Yeah, Jacob Cooper, one of those cars you were talking about on the R2 setup, and maybe now with always more contact between them and Last Lap Motorsports.
Yeah.
As those tyres have started to get a little bit hotter, is he maybe struggling for some grip as we've got Ravega and Pinto together?
Oh! I think Pinto collected the slow car of Absolute Beginners.
Last Lap Motorsports around the outside of Cooper, and there's going to be contact there because Last Lap Motorsports decided to pin Cooper into the wall. They all get away with it somehow. Cooper into the inside wall. Triple Raptor Gaming end up losing his place.
Raptor and Conquest both coming together again on the track. Will there be some revenge, as someone doubted?
Unless Bazinga can get past Raptor down toward the final corner. Raptor Gaming defend the inside line. Bazinga looking to pull off another classic overtaking maneuver. Goes too deep.
Not this time. No, not this time. Might get a little bit of a better run out of the corner, and we'll get a massive draft from this great long chain. But here comes Makalowski. He's putting Jacob Cooper under even more pressure. Jacob Cooper just falling backwards in the end for the Esports car as he tries to squeeze around the outside. Thinks better of it off the throttle coming into turn 1.
Indeed, a 40.0 really struggling with the traffic coming past. Conquest no need
down
to
the
make
inside,
a
diving on the brakes.
A little bit of contact there. That was an important move for Conquest. They cannot afford to lose touch with the Team Rock Racing cars in front of Raptor. Think about moving as well. Cooper goes wide, though Raptor might just sneak up the inside again, but no, they think better of it. Cooper holds on to 10th place now.
You know what happened last time they tried to sneak into the inside of someone?
Yeah, we ended up with flipping cars, didn't we? With Jacob Cooper going backwards here, guys. Contact with the wall between Jacob Cooper, but 4th and 5th as well. Isaac Price under pressure from James Peace, and Ivanov's not too far down the road either, so that's one to watch a little bit later on. But Makalowski defending from Jacob Cooper. Jacob Cooper once again hitting the inside wall through the hairpin, a very strange thing to do in these race cars, hitting the inside wall. Outside ones are fairly common, but the inside is major misjudging, Thilo.
Yeah, a bit.
Behind them,
Happens to
Genuine
me.
Racing Amateur and Savage Sinsports Amateur are side by side in the battle for 14th position. Looks as though Savage Sinsports are going to make the move stick, and Genuine Racing try to think we're going down the inside. Is a Robo going to be able to make it stop? Yes, he is. So he claims the position. Now they're right on the back of Angry Angus Racing. We want to see a pigskin next race. Come on, donate money to breast cancer research. And actually, unseen by us really, the 3-car battle for 3rd is actually starting to hot up as well, a little bit more now. And they are starting to get a little bit caught by Ostgaard.
They are, but it's still quite a long way down the road for Tommy Osgaard. 7.3 seconds to ever, as much as it took this battle between Ivanov, Price and Peace. Peace just dropping back there a bit.
Yeah, but Ivanov must have made some mistake, because he was at least a second further ahead just moments ago.
Was, you're right. And Isaac Price not in the range where he can make a move just yet, but one little slip up, one little mistake from Ivanov, and that could all change very, very quickly. Meanwhile, up at the front, it's still even and leading. Just Sailor in the core car.
And now Price seems to be... no, he isn't. Thought for a moment.
Bazinga coming under attack from Chong of Last Lap Motorsports Amateur in their XRR around the outside, coming into the final corner on the brakes, and he's done it. Oh no, Bazinga attacking back there. Chong drifting the car sideways out of the final corner, but manages to get around.
Isaac Price with an attack, and he makes it to the inside of Ivanov. Much contact, and now James Peace through the inside, and Peace through into 3rd position.
James Peace taking advantage of both of them there.
Sticks down the inside.
And Price getting a little bit of contact there as well, but James Peace, you lucky boy.
James Peace must think all his Christmases came at once there. A great chasm in between the Asure Price Racing and Genuine Racing cars opened up as they came back from collision, as they spread apart. There was like 2 legs or something going between them.
So with that opportunistic move, Team Virus and James Peace stick 3rd place, a final podium position. Isaac Price holds 4th and Ivanov in 5th, but Cooper under pressure from Falkenberg of Raptor Gaming around the outside of the hairpin. Not going to find a way past now, but Cooper is holding on by the skin of his teeth right now, guys. Been under a lot of pressure for a lot of laps by various different people, lost a lot of places, and now defending that inside line.
Chong is also in the slipstream. Is he making it really wide? No.
Cooper should have this one covered if he gets a decent enough exit, but Falkenberg will have a great exit with a longer radius around the corner. And they're side by side, going to cross the finish line side by side even, are they?
Yeah. And they stay side by side, I think.
Yes.
Falkenberg probably going to have to slot back behind here, maybe making an attack into turn 2. But look at
Oh,
Chong!
Nearly.
Falkenberg checking up and Chong just making contact with the rear bumper.
Oh, he got loose. I'm pretty sure he got loose. There's a little bumper around the outside there. If you're slightly offline, like he was, and you don't expect it, suddenly the car bottoms out slightly, and you snap across like you just saw there.
Jacob Cooper bringing this trailing pack into a right gaggle here, having to defend for his life, but making the racing very interesting for us.
Oh, that's a wall though. That's a wall. He's at a wall. Oh, he's not going to leave any room for Falkenberg.
Oh,
And through the middle comes John.
John goes through,
And
Falkenberg goes through, Shaggy goes through, maybe, and does go through.
And now it's
Angus.
a traffic jam.
Angry Angus and Infinity side by side. Cooper holds that place to keep 13th. Now Savage and Angry Angus side by side. Falkenhayn gets a drive-through penalty, presumably for that contact that flipped Cockway Racing in the hairpin.
Avoidable incident with car
Yes, that's
21.
the case. And now it's going to be 3 wide, coming into the final corner maybe, with Genuine Racing's Avatar.
Oh,
looking down the
contact surely.
inside.
Oh, Angry Angus is going to spin Savage's foot.
Oh.
Something smells with the other side. There. Savage
Oh,
Sports car spins.
And the Angry Angus
Pinto.
car reversing across the track, taking 2 or 3 cars with him. In doing so,
Pinto and Lamette.
a little bit of brain fade there. Falkenhayn comes in for his drive-through penalty now. Meccano and Savage Simsport side by side, coming in at turn 1. Genuine Racing with the inside line coming into the second corner, and should be able to outbrake his rival from Savage Simsports. Doesn't. Side by side rolling door handles coming through turn 1 into turn 2. Not an overtaking spot, but Savage Simsports will go down the inside. More contact. Meccano is now behind and will have to suffer and go down to 14th place.
Angry Angus make contact on the half spot, the Savage Simsports amateur car, and then the Savage Simsports pro car came up behind them. It was punted down. So they've been well and truly savaged where the pro Angry Angus car. Oh, thank you.
Quick look back. 11 and 27 fighting for 18th position. And I think Pinto wants to get around this for Revolutionary Racing. Bus power down into the upper late move and contact.
Down the inside.
Contact!
Another contact.
That's a punt.
Oh dear. A pile up, a big pile up, and Falkenhayn gets through.
That's a punt.
Falkenhayn.
Oh, Pinto the loser there though.
He was also the
But
one that caused
tell
it
me
by
the thing, this
completely
looked pretty
punting.
intentional to me.
That was a punt.
Falkenhayn under pressure from World Crash League of Catala. Falkenhayn having to defend the inside line in the Raptor Gaming Pro car. The amateur car of World Crash League not being able to make that move. And Falkenhayn now putting his attention to the car in front of him of Angry Angus Racing and Gasky. And guys, as a matter of fact, everybody in this commentary box told me before this race this was like touring cars, and I didn't believe them. Now I do. I really do.
Well, it's the British interpretation of touring cars. Not the German interpretation with the super high-tech cars which can't overtake each other.
Jacob Cooper hitting the wall though on the outside of that uphill corner, and here comes Savage Amateur with a rainbow. Going to take advantage, and Cooper can do nothing but watch him slide by as they come into the hairpin on the brakes from Cooper, but he was never going to make a move there. And, one more slip past Cooper as he falls into 13th place. Genuine Amateur next on the list to try and have a go at Jacob. Here comes Round Step on Genuine Racing though, side by side in the final corner. Round Step has to just go around the outside, try and get an exit, try and make it work a little bit later, maybe in the next lap, because he's not going to get around the outside of the final corner, is he?
Sorry, I didn't listen to you for a moment.
The answer's no. But here he comes again in the draft, coming into turn 1. Bit of contact there into the kink. Round Step having to sit there. Now here's Meccano defending the inside line, holding the middle of the road. And he's not going to let Round Step pass for anything here. Jacob Cooper in front, though, getting very wide in the end for the eSports car, holding up Genuine Racing's amateur efforts. these three are going to hit it off
Cooper
fairly
Ball.
soon, and there even it is. Here comes Genuine Racing side by side coming into the hairpin. Routsep
now
wants a
Routsep.
piece of it as well. This is getting scary. Into the hairpin, brakes are on. Routsep going down the inside as well. That's a double move on Jacob Cooper into one corner. And Cooper, Thilo, is really struggling with his, I can only assume, with the tyre strategy in that Infinity Esports car.
Maybe also with the damage. Looking at his front right.
I didn't notice that, but here comes Ramos as well for the core amateur car. Around the outside, he's even going to make that move stick, or at least try it. Still side by
No,
side
he's
as he
making it
exits.
stick, he's making it stick.
And yes, he makes it stick with the better exit. Cooper still with the draft though, could still kick off as we come down the front stretch. Cooper all the way down in 16th in the Infinity Esports car, but lifting off the throttle into turn one, and now he goes very late, side by side, contact on the rear quarter. Not enough to send Core Racing's car into the barriers here, but certainly substantial, and it's certainly there. But I think the cause is lost for Cooper in this one. Going to have to settle for 16th place in the Infinity Esports car at the moment. Meanwhile, you've got a picture of the tracker on your screen right now. An NX Racing lead from Core Racing Pro, Team Virus Pro, and Asa Price Racing. Genuine Racing Pro are in 5th. Meanwhile, the 69 of Routsep has spun. I'm not sure if that was on his own or with another car, if anyone could fill me in.
Well, no idea, but he was sliding a bit too heavy for this kind of car. But the last couple of laps could think of that he maybe lost it on his own.
Meanwhile, a Rainbow of Savage Sim Sports starting to get a bit close to the Bazinga car. Not close enough to make a move yet, but certainly getting there as Yusela in the Core Racing car with another fastest lap, 133.79, taking 2/10 off his previous best this race. So he's still well in the hunt for Team Evening, but hasn't closed up too much yet. 1.1 seconds splits the two leaders. And James Peace is leading away in the trailing group in the final podium position in 3rd place after that very opportunistic move on Isaac Price and Ivanov for Isaac Price Racing and Genuine Racing respectively. The two Team Rocks are in 6th and 7th with the Pro F in front of the amateur one, and Last Lap Motorsport Pro sits in 8th place. So all still to play for here. Talking about that, one of their amateur efforts, I'm not particularly sure, but John, the wheel of his XR Raw, is putting pressure on Makalowski of Conquest. Michael Booth, our administrator, times out because he's up it. It's Team Rock Racing, I'm an idiot. And it is the amateur effort of Team Rock Racing. Team Rocky Racing, because they've got 3 teams. Thank you, fellas. I'm sorry. You can tell I've been out of this game for quite some time, can't you, guys? But, yeah, Chong pressuring Makalowski. Rebo in the Savage Sim Sports car is putting pressure on Bazinga in the 11th and 12th position. And 13th and 14th is Meccano and Ramos, but Chong has got past Makalowski. We missed that one, or we haven't missed that one, but I've missed that one, I'm not sure. But, yeah, Chong making the move of Makalowski and raising him up to 9th place. Irebo, the one to watch as well, he's on the climb trying to get past past that Bazinga car and maybe even looking down into turn 2. Not going to happen this time though, closing the door, shutting it firmly. Does Saki. Turn 3 here, really not a place to overtake, is it, Thilo? Neither is turn 4 because of those enclosing walls.
No, it's pretty nasty, pretty hard. Oh,
ooh, bit of a tap. Bit of a tap from the Savage Sim Sports car.
Hello, I'm
Saki
here.
getting wide, getting swiffy.
Very narrow place, no place to overtake, and a place where carnage can happen around the next bend. But now here on the straight, fluid, well, hard down to the hairpin, right hand turn, and now again a very fluid part down to the last hairpin around this lap. Very fast lead course, actually.
It is, you're right. Besides that hairpin, which must be one of the, if not the slowest corner of the season, it is. It's a very varied track, and it's one that you've got to have your wits about you running out with those walls looming on either side of it. But now might be the chance for Arebo to get the draft of Bazinga and to make a move coming into turn 1, 11th and 12th here. Bazinga and defending the inside line. Bit of contact from Arebo, another bit of contact coming into turn 1. Saki still holding that inside, holding the middle ground. And Arebo's going to have to go a long way around if he wants to try it. Doesn't work out this time. And getting the drive here, really irrelevant unless you can make a massive challenge into that corner, because you're never going to get a slight overlap to work through this section. Jacob Cooper coming under pressure once again from LLM Amateur, not just LLM Amateur, in the XRR, down the inside, looking there into the double left hand that doesn't work. And we come up a hill through turn number 7, and heading towards hairpin there, not going to swap places just yet, but LLM and Nathan Lamont looking very racy after being stuck at the back of the pack for a considerable amount of time, and down the inside he looks there into the hairpin. Jacob Cooper knows it, Jacob Cooper sees it, and Jacob Cooper basically lets him through. A little bit of contact in the exit, nothing too much, and Lamont takes 15th. Here comes Savage Simspots though around the outside, coming into the final corner, and Saki holding that inside line still, but Savage Simspots going deep enough to be able to get the drive and take the place. And Thilo Bazinga might just be able to get this on the draft though.
Yeah, Bazinga, a surprising team this season. We've had them last round as well. They're not too far away for the first real breaking point around this track, but I think they might be in reach for the fast part down to the downtown hairpin. They could be, at least.
I think Arebo is quite a bit quicker through this section though, and it should relinquish any chance of an attack. Faster bits.
Yeah, but if you look at Arebo, he's got quite some tendency to slide, but he's still faster. No, you're right.
Meanwhile, Falkenberg for Raptor under pressure from Carl Rauter, driving for Savage Sim Sports Pro, who qualified
well, Raptor Gaming qualified in 15.
26th. I thought they were better, I have to admit. I was going to make a massive story about how they've fallen down the grid, but they haven't. They've actually climbed quite considerably.
They had a very disappointing qualifying.
So Savage Sim Sports doing well now in the pro category, although they have had a spin with Carl Rauter. Katila has he's very, very slow down the straight. No idea why.
Might have made outside wall contact down there in this left-hand turn entering the motorway.
Apparently it looks like he spun out of his own accord, so no contact seems to have been involved. Makanu for a genuine amateur, coming under pressure a little bit from core racing's amateur effort, with Ramos driving the car as we speak, and that could be quite the interesting battle. That down in 13th place. And Genuine, who are the highest placed amateur effort in the championship right now, 82 points off the leaders. Inex Racing will also lead the race. 13th place for them, Thilo. Is that a major disadvantage for them in the championship race?
Well, looking around what cars are in front of them, it doesn't look too severe, to be honest. Bazinga is currently the only one they have to worry about.
Stadius is off, apparently. That's been through the second corner.
Falkenberg and Cooper.
Oh yes, Coop coming under pressure once again around the outside from Raptor Gaming. Much later on the break. Too deep, just too deep from Falkenberg. It's not going to work that time. But Jake Cooper. "49 minutes gone in this race, and Jacob Cooper from Infinity Esports, who qualified to where? Good, in fact, 5th to 16th for Infinity Esports, and Jacob Cooper, and all I think from that damage. Thilo is down the inside,
to the inside.
Falkenberg. Oh, that's a good move. Bit of contact there, and Jacob Cooper ending up touching that outside wall.
Actually, Jake could have saved it if he didn't touch the wall, because he would have had a better exit at the corner, at the exit of the corner. It didn't work. Yeah, Jake Cooper. Yeah, what to say? He lost 12 positions in this race. I don't know if he qualified or if Dennis Lynch qualified.
Yeah, Dennis
I think
qualified.
it's Dennis.
LLM Pro seem to be closing in on last lap motors. Sorry. Let me rephrase. LLM Pro are catching Team Rock Racing number 10, the FZR one. I've got that right.
Yeah, I think so.
And in fact, they're a mistake from Team Rock Racing, and here on the charge now, the man driving the LLM car, Kalidovic is smelling blood right now.
Yeah, especially he can really monitor Frankie sliding through, especially this nasty, tricky, narrow section.
On board looking back from this Team Rock Racing car, and comments there in the background in our research team, as I'm going to call them nicely, but they're just the T-boys. Listening to the Team Rock Racing downshifts, we'll give you this corner to listen to them yourselves, but apparently very, very aggressive. Yes, they are very aggressive. So maybe some engine damage coming into this one, Thilo, and the FZR of the three is particularly susceptible. That's a lot of revs. Putting 9,000 revs through that car on the downshift, and yeah, aggressive downshifting. And these cars, certainly in the FZR, tends to end in tears for the car. And in a 3-hour race such as this one, engine damage which cannot be repaired in the pit lane is certainly something you want to avoid, isn't it, Thilo?
Yes, it definitely is. I mean, it's hurting you throughout the rest of the race, which is still about 2 hours and 10 minutes. And so I don't want to take over a car with engine damage.
Yeah, also of note, Dennis Lane in the background, he's seen the suffering that Jacob Cooper is having in that Infinity Esports car with such damage on the right front, and he's going to come and take over the car with 53 minutes gone in the race, about 6 minutes left until the end of the hour, where you would expect most of the pit stops to be clustered.
Oh, Raptor Gaming spun!
Oh, Falkenberg spun.
Yeah, spun
Falkenberg
on their own. I was watching them because I thought there could be a battle soon. He was just too fast, hit the edge of that wall with the back of the car, and then the wall makes a bend, and this bend spun him round because he couldn't get his ass away from the wall.
Yep, so a rainbow closing on Makalowski, something we should probably watch out for in the future. The main thing we've got to watch right now is Falkenhayn in round 7.
Oh, Kulievski could lock that up with Frankie, side by side, down to the pin, and now the 26 is around. Kulievski, yeah.
Yeah, meanwhile, Falkenhayn still putting a lot of pressure on Carl Roundup, coming through the very tight and twisty section. Up the hill into turn 7. Down towards the hairpin, still not close enough, but that final corner might be quite tempting for Falkenhayn if he can get that car a little bit closer. Lind takes over the car of Jacob Cooper now, and Jacob Cooper leaves the server. But here
And
comes
Raptor Gaming now with the move.
For Raptor Gaming. And that sort of overtaking will do, straight down the inside, clean move. Good overtaking, Thilo.
Yeah, the unfair equipped car around the Savage Sim Sports car. And now Carl is in the slipstream, you see him. The gap is melting. And Carl into turn 1, side by side. But Falkenhayn can keep it.
Just from this race, just from looking at it, it seems to me that the best way around somebody into the first couple of corners is to hold back out coming through turn 1 and then try and make the gun into turn 2. And Falkenhayn, that's Roundup, sorry, just jumping the gun, trying to make a stick through turn 1 and actually suffering from it. Nielsen takes over from Status in the 39 car. That's off horse. Gisela in the pits. That's the second place car of Core Racing GT1. Come on, Chris, you idiot. Core Pro. Meanwhile, James Peace is being caught by Isaac Price in the XRR. Isaac Price, who's R2 tyre mix, and the XRR. Certainly a positive. Meanwhile, Gisela has voted to try and kick his teammate. I think that was probably an accident. But teammate rivalry here. Meanwhile, there's a battle. It's Team Rock Racing, Team Rocky Racing, and Team Rock Racing.
Yeah.
I can't work under these conditions.
Team Rocky Racing is the white car, Team Rock Racing the bluish grey black car.
Yep, this is for the amateur lead between the two Team Rock Racing affiliated teams, but both of them are named completely differently.
Yeah, and also they may not share the drivers because they are different.
Yeah, that Team Rock Racing car apparently ready to pit in the next few laps with his teammates joining the server. Contact, bang, bang, bang on the back of that FZR from Chong.
And Rocky is still in the slipstream of Rock. And goes to the inside, late braking.
Oh,
Frankie cannot keep it in position.
Oh,
And 50 must go into pits. Frankie must go into pits. Now there is a car.
Oh god. That could have been so much more disastrous than it was.
It truly could have been.
Thankfully, no major damage done.
Everyone's alive, but the battle just past them, and it's between Core GT, Core Pro, and Conquest Amateur. Core Pro, don't forget, have already been in the pits and have made a driver change, and trying to get past the Conquest car, who is clearly a little bit slower than them, and can't do it. Core Racing running R2, R3. So questions on why the pit stop was earlier than the rest, but it might have just been base strategy. Meanwhile, when takes over from somebody.
Cinchetti, I would.
Cinchetti. There we go.
Very American, I know, but very Americanized, I mean.
Meanwhile, don't forget, you can communicate with all of the people involved in the series, as well as people watching on the stream. You can use the stream chat. You can also use the NDR IRC channel, or of course you can use the hashtag GT2WS on the world of Twitter, and it will go up at the bottom of the chat, as well as on the whatever it is on Twitter. I'm not particularly sure.
Yeah.
But yes, hashtag GT2WS. Use it, guys. Use it. I will.
And well, we've got some guys using it even.
We do. Dennis Lind, who's in the car right now, has been tweeting. He tweeted that he was going to be coming in the car very, very shortly, and in fact, he's been true to his word. Meanwhile, we've got a battle on our hands between Team Rocky Racing and LLM Pro. Team Rocky Racing yet to go in the pits, so are LLM Pro, and that Team Rocky Racing car, I think it's Team Rocky Racing anyway, it's one of them. Very thin right hand side tyres, Thilo.
Yeah, no.
Nielsen a light with
yeah,
Nielsen, sorry,
the rolling chicane.
With our mark just past, we've got 1 hour, 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Yeah, and you even got updated with the
out.
current standings. It's just been tweeted, the top 3 at the top of the hour.
Yeah, I think we'll run through them as well on here once we know that these two are settled.
And Chong now very much in the slipstream.
I thought LLM was going to shut the door on them there. It looked very, very, very shaky, but they haven't done so. Chong gets through. Now goes sideways there for the LLM car.
It.
And he's not going to attack from here. Going past the lap car of Dupta. That's an incredible name, that's Dupta. And we'll take a quick run through the standings at this moment, shall we, Taylor?
Yeah.
Leading the race right now is NX Racing. Second is Team Virus Pro. Asa Price Racing is third. Genuine in fourth. Genuine Pro in fourth. Team Rock Racing Pro in fifth. Last Lap Motorsport Pro in sixth. Team Rocky Racing in seventh. Conquest Racing Amateur in eighth. Core Racing Pro in ninth. Savage Sim Sport Amateur in 10th. Genuine Racing Amateur in 11th. Core Racing Amateur in 12th. Last Lap Motorsports Amateur in 13th. Raptor Gaming Pro in 14th. Savage Sim Sports Pro in 15th. Angry Angus Racing are in 16th. Don't forget to go and donate to their breast cancer cause. Revolutionary Racing in 17th. HT Motorsports in 18th. Bazinga in 19th. Team Rock Racing Amateur in 20th. Challenge Racing Team 21st. Infinity Esports in 22nd. WCL Racing in 23rd. R-Force have apparently just retired in 24th. 25th are Absolute Beginners, like a 6th Conquest Racing Pro. Speedo are out in 27th, so are Conquest Racing Pro. So the last place is 24th and it's Absolute Beginners. Thilo, you're more than welcome to take over that duty next hour if you want to.
Okay.
I don't want to try that again.
So, 8 cars didn't make a pit stop yet, it seems. It's the top 8 of NX Virus down to Conquest.
Pinto with the drive-through penalty. For speeding in the pit lane.
Oh, for speeding, I thought, well, we've seen a dodgy scene with him earlier, so I thought for a moment it would be a penalty for that one.
And the front 8 runners now without making a pit stop after 1 hour and nigh on 5 minutes now. Oh, we've got a flat pipe, we've got a flat tyre, we've got a puncture. We've got a puncture for Chong. Chong has a puncture, the inside left. Which didn't cause him a major amount of hassle. He's only got one left-hand corner to negotiate, as well as, of course, the pit entry. But he... jacking that right rear wheel him. But he managed to do it, and good place to get a puncture, that's all we can say. Well, there's no place, good place to have a puncture, but couldn't be worse. Meanwhile, looks to me like Miro Rauti is in to take over from James Peace in the Team Virus car, sitting in second right now. And Dominik Engel is in to take over from Genuine Racing GT1.
GT Pro.
Sorry.
Well, if they had a GT1 car, it would be really, really disappointing that they are only in 4th. I mean, they would be the only one.
That's just life, isn't it? I'm an idiot, that's my life.
So, Peace into the pit lane now.
Yep, in comes Pete. In comes, I assume, Ivanov, yes he does. And also in is Evening for NX Racing.
And it's
the
pretty
race
busy.
leader.
And Isaac Price takes the lead due to the pit stops.
Yeah, let's take a look at where the core racing pro car is of Kinnan. He was second place before the pit stop cycle began. And even out in the pit lane now. And I think, in fact, he's pulled quite some distance on that core racing car, Thilo.
Yes, it really looks like that. NX back on track in 3rd position behind Tommy Osgood in the Team Rock Pro car and Isaac Price, which...
Isaac Price leading right now, but he'll surely have to come into the pits in the next few laps.
Yeah, right.
Oh, and the revolutionary racing car there, holding up the leaders. So now looking forwards, we only have the cars of Isaac Price, we have the car of Tommy Ostgaard, and the car of Makalowski yet to make a pit stop. Excuse that noise, that was not my fault.
If you wonder what sounds my dear co-commentator makes, he just got an information which he couldn't sort in because it was wrong.
Side by side going into turn 1 is
Sheldon Cooper Racing, as I call them, and Last Lap Motorsports Amateur. Bazinga.
But yes, that Bazinga on the rear wing is very, very prominent, isn't it?
Yes,
still putting them under a little bit of pressure. Although I don't know which way the positions actually swapped originally. Meanwhile, Pavel comes in ready to take over the car racing amateur car.
Yeah, the amateur car, the 66.
After 1 hour and 10 minutes on the road, I believe, or they already made a stop, I'm not sure. But they've done
No.
very well if they haven't made a stop to make 1 hour and 10 minutes. Looking
They
at the
haven't.
condition of their tyres at the moment, you know.
Isaac in the pit lane.
Yeah, race leader out of the race in the pit lane. So Tommy Ostgaard now, you would expect to be pitting very soon, and in fact he does pit. So now Timo Even will re-inherit the lead. Tommy Ostgaard there nearly going a bit too hot into the pit lane. We're watching the Team Virus car of Miro Rowdy come down the pit straight as Isaac Price comes out
He's
of
even
the
jumping core, it seems.
pit lane, and Isaac Price doing a very, very good job there. He's even jumped core as
Yeah,
Thilo
the yellow
says.
car, that's Makulowski, and behind them there's the 33 of Core Racing. So they overtook Core in the pit lane by strategy.
An extra 13 minutes for Isaac Price, and
God's sake, what are they called?
Asa Price Racing and Makulowski as well, sitting there in between the Core Racing car and Isaac Price, obviously taking a massive advantage from staying out for so long in that car. Not normally one to run up high, but it's him and the 09 of Falkenberg both yet to make a stop. That's it.
Yeah, the 09 already had to go to the pit lane for a drive-through earlier. That's why they are so far down compared to the 22.
But I think you remember, Thilo, a very, very abnormally early stop for the Core Racing car, and has that been the detriment of them here to knock them behind the Asa Price Racing car?
Yeah, most likely. Because during the time the car of Asher Price gets less heavier, they had the full tank, and I think this was for now. We just talk about the situation as it is now, because we've still 1 hour and 15 minutes to go. It looks like Isaac Price made the better strategy.
Oh, and the chorus car hitting the inside wall, and the Team Virus car clouting the outside wall.
And 33 again, the outside wall. That's rather entertaining to put it like this. Well, and throughout the season we've noticed that the 33, when it is driven by Gisela, that it is the fastest car on track, but also it has the biggest tire wear.
Yes.
Okay, you don't know it because you haven't been around for the season.
Correct.
And Chris disappeared, the other Chris.
Yep, Chris, I believe, going out for some bevies, as you could say. Don't know what the word bevies mean. Please write to us at I don't know what bevies means. PO Box, whatever, 96 pence. That's Savage Sim Sports of Arabia. Well, that's a long effort. 1 hour 13 minutes and 18 seconds before he had to make a pit stop and change his tyres. Oops.
Raptor Gaming still without a pit stop on track. And so is the 22. And we will get a drive-through penalty for the country box for blocking the messages, it seems.
Sorry, team. And I mean, we can't forget, of course, that that there was the safety car period, the 2 safety car periods early on. It took
And the abandoned start.
20-30 minutes before we got any significant racing laps. But 1 hour 14 on your starting tyres and fuel is a very, very noble effort, and they're still going.
Not that we see today the first one-stopper.
Conquest. So puncture watt really should be on these, shouldn't it?
Looking at Conquest, the front right starts to look very thin, it seems.
Yep, this is Conquest Amateur with Makalowski at the wheel, currently in 3rd place, well out of position for what you would expect, all because they've gone this long on the tyres and fuel, and it's starting to get incredible.
The 09 is in the pit lane, the other car which stayed out. And
Meanwhile, the 10 car of Genuine Racing Amateur pitted very, very early in the race, I believe during the first safety car period. And we've completely missed that, but he's also gone this long. Well, not as long, but he's off. I think he's off. I think he's
1 hour and
in
6
comparison
minutes.
to the rest. But yeah, it's another considerable effort from them to claw their way back up. But it's Makalowski in the 22 car of Conquest that's taking the world by storm with his tyre conservation.
But looking at the tyres, is it only me or has the front left suffered a sudden drop in temperature? I thought it was much greener a lap ago. Oh! And it popped green again. Interesting.
Meanwhile, here in the box is Michael Booth, who just says he would like to say something. I'm not sure what, but...
Well, I just want to say hello to you. I've been here not saying much, so hello, we'll go in. Hello, Thilo.
Hello, Rudy.
Quite interesting to see Conquest Racing Amateur going so far. But Makalowski is their pro driver in that amateur team. So he's probably got the most experience of them all, so he can take care of the tyres there.
Even for a pro driver, though, this is a fair effort from Makalowski to be able to take these 1 hour and 20 minutes. Though, isn't it?
Yeah, I was just checking where he started. 16th, so maybe he was able to stay out of the trouble and just save his tyres near the start.
Makalowski also not the driver to qualify the car at start. I don't know how much significance that has, but...
Meanwhile, General Racing was in the pits.
Yep, Gabauer will take that car over after a difficult hour for Meccano. And Makalowski, yes, Makalowski's teammate has joined the server. Here he comes into the pit. Ooh, nearly clipping that inside wall and going way too fast there, but somehow managing to slow the car down. Coming into the pit, but...
Now the competition in the amateur class is just coming up to the end of Sector 2 just now, so they should get out ahead of them. The 67 car of Team Rocky Racing, being driven by one of our 2 Chinese drivers today. That are in the server at the moment. The first time I've seen 2 of them, I think, together racing.
Well, you never see one and then 2 come along at once. It's like buses, isn't it? Here comes Chongno down the pit straight. Where will the Conquest Racing car, driven now by Zilube, gets the inside line, but they're going to be side by side almost, coming into turn 2. No. And Chong will get a run with the extra radius and might even challenge into turn 2, but I don't think he will, and Conquest Racing will retain the lead for now
Oh, okay.
of the GT. The amateur
Amateur.
class.
Happens. So, while Chris prays a bit to not have any more problems with amps and pros, the 22 seem to have defended the position, but now Chong is in the slipstream and he goes down to the outside because the 22 blocked fairly. But look at this. That was quite some advantage speed-wise, and now Chong 7th position overall, and Team Rocky Racing now also leading the amateur standings in this race.
Yep, I think that was just exceptional draft there, although don't forget Chong has a warmer set of tyres to be now for much longer, and to top it all off, he'll probably be a little bit lighter on fuel depending on how Conquest are aiming to take on the rest of this race, but it'll be interesting to see if Juba as Google Translate has now finally told me how to pronounce it.
Battle between 47 and 10. Bazinga tries to go around the outside of Jana Racing. And Torf makes contact with Gebauer.
Always going to happen there. Gebauer just a little bit too deep. A little bit of contact on the front end of Gebauer's Todd's car in the Bazinga entry.
Yeah.
Yep. Gebauer holding on for now.
One thing I do notice about both of those cars that are on the screen is they do have fairly warm clutches, clutch temperature on both, and that's one of the things about South City and the FZR.
Well, I was going to say, I've been noticing throughout the broadcast, but before Chris went, we've got a spinner, we've got a spinner, it's Team TRR,
It's the amateur
Team
car,
Rock
yeah.
Racing Amateur, they've got a flat right rear tyre. And it's interesting to note that we haven't noticed them pitting yet.
They have pitted, I think, yes, because that was the...
Pitted early during the safety cars, I believe. But Isaac Price in second place, right behind them, coming off line. Oh, this could be a very nervy lap back to the pit.
That was the car of Sinchetti that pitted only 20 minutes ago. And now he's got a flat tyre. Something's gone wrong there.
Change tyres or something.
That does look like it could be the case, because all the other tyres are fairly low on tread as well.
Very, very thin tyres there, and he could almost have another rear puncture if he's not careful on temperature. He has not changed his tyres in the Dominik Engel there in the Genuine Racing Pro entry, not knowing which way to go. Oh, Dieter and Lind making contact. Lind really wants to be past Dolber, sorry, who is on the same lap as Dennis Lind. So Dennis Lind being very racy. Wen has spun in the final corner. Thankfully, he's got quite a big gap behind him that he can use. But here comes Lind around the outside of Dolder. He makes a move stick through turn 1. So around the outside of turn 1 there in his FZR.
When finally made it behind the wall into the pit lane.
Yeah, very strange circumstance. The only thing I can think of is that they haven't had their F12 menu set corrected the Rock Racing. But when Chinese man from China, don't they?
So that is everyone who has pitted and changed tyres properly now.
Meanwhile, in car 22 and 26. Have not. What? Oh, the battling. Oh,
Yeah, they're battling.
Yeah, and Thomas Ross. Yeah, that's not honest. I thought it was about tyres. I'm sorry. Last Lap Motorsport attacking Juba. I need to keep going and check that Google Translate every time I want to say the man's name, but
It's very useful for Polish names, Google
it's
Translate.
incredible, Michael Booth here giving me this tool, and this will actually make me commentate more, because this is one of the hardest things to physically do, say people's bloody names. Meanwhile, Boothie, I'm just going to ask you this now, as you're here, and you're probably the best person around here to explain it. We'll wait until these two have sorted themselves out first. They'll have sorted themselves out. If Phil, our cameraman and man who makes the tea for us, could put up the car slide thing that we have. You hear that, Phil? The one with the cars on. The one with the restrictions and the number of cars taken. Okay, Phil doesn't have that, but we'll talk briefly about it as Zubi. Sorry, we won't talk.
Oh, contact
between the two of them on the straight, and then
What?
both go piling into the wall.
Smoros!
Zuber on two
Bad
wheels.
place to be.
Wow.
That was.
Did Zuber then? It was Zuber and Moroz, who we saw battling earlier on. I wasn't paying attention.
Yes,
other
Wilco.
car with a lot of damage.
Thanks for taking our mind off the racing there. I'm going to have a look at the replay to see what happened.
Sorry, for me.
Sorry.
But for me, it looked like Juba was turning to the right once the other car was to his side.
And behind them, the battle is still raging behind. I think it's Genuine Racing Amateur. Yep, the green car against the red car of Bazinga. They're going to come up on that very damaged car of Last Lap Motorsports Pro very shortly.
Oh, Bazinga hit one. Meanwhile, Zuba. After that coming together. Oh, was that Zuba?
Yeah, it was Zuba.
Yes, it was. He's now under attack from Savage Motorsports after obviously succumbing and struggling on pace after the contact. Sorry.
Well, could you not have a cough button somewhere? Okay, well, as Wilco is obviously coughing a lot there, we've got them coming onto the front straight. Looks like Zuba is taking the inside line or the sort of middle of the road for some reason.
Yes, he is, Spoofy, and I'm alive. But
I would
Zuba,
probably put it down to his damage actually. I think he's just decided that because he's pitted so late, he's just going to let other cars go past and run his own race. And the damage isn't helping.
Yeah, so what was a very, very promising start to Conquest Racing's race today with that amazing stint from Makalowski with the car at length. Zuba is quite struggling here, but the times they can change. Anton Moroz is continuing with his damage. No stopping to fix that. Oh no, he's going to continue and press on. Even with the battle of Gebauer and Toth for Genuine Amateur and Bazinga. Their battle is rapidly approaching. He's not going to let that phase him. He's going to keep going. Or is he going to keep going? Because here comes Ray Kings into the server. That's the different car. I'm an idiot. Now here, I'm not going to ask you the question I was about to ask you, because Bazinga close enough maybe to make a move down the straight, and I don't want to miss that this time. Just a little bit too far away for Bazinga to pick up LFS's very, very generous slipstream. But a much better final corner from them, and this is the time that they're going to have to mount their challenge. Gebauer holding that inside line, hugging the inside wall. There's bumps and there's little humps in that bit of road, but it doesn't matter. Wait a minute, it squeezes the Bazinga car nearly into that kink in the wall. Toth still holding the outside line coming into turn 2. On the brakes, Gebauer a little bit later, managing to hold on to the position. Gets a poorer exit. Bazinga now still on the charge, trying to make it through turn 3, but that is not an overtaking spot. and he's going to have himself a 12th place for now. Maybe mount a chance a little later in the lap. Meanwhile, Savage Sim Sports and Raptor Racing, that's Savage Sim Sports, the GT, God's sake, Pro car, and Raptor Gaming have only one car, and it's a Pro. Those two starting to close up as well, Miss Diaz, if you'd like to show that for us. And now, this brings me to an interesting point that I'm going to ask Boothie about now. Boothie, oh God, I'm going to watch these now because they're about to overtake. Here comes Sibilant for Savage Sim Sports down the inside into the hairpin. Want isn't going to really defend in that Raptor Gaming car. He just lets them through. Now, Michael Booth.
Okay.
3 cars in this series: the FZR, the FXR, and the XRR, all having different restrictions. A 24% restriction for the FXR, a 25% restriction for the XRR, and a 21% restriction for the FZR. Now, Michael, sorry, Gamara and Toth are going side by side. I don't want to interrupt it. Side by side, inside is Gabauer, outside is Bazinga with Toth. Can he do it this time around the outside? No, he can't, but Gabauer goes a bit deep, and what
that's a great
switching
switchback
back from Toth. Great move, Boothie.
Yeah, he had a practice of going around the outside the line on the previous lap around turn 1, and he tried to sort of make a move, but it didn't work, and then he changed his options. He changed his move for that lap. He made a great move there. His eyes will now be set on Anton Moore's off last lap Motorsports Pro with
Definitely,
their damage.
But can I finally ask you this question, Boothie? I can't. Right. 3 cars, 3 different restrictions. Which one's the best here? Go.
Winning comfortably in the hands of Isaac Price.
We have lost the video of it briefly. Diaz timing out.
Yep, and at other times the FXR, especially with its 4-wheel drive system.
Do we have general timeout of Phil?
Can you still hear us? Type on the stream chat if you can still hear us.
No, they can all hear us. They can all hear us. They can all hear us, I think. Can they hear us? Yes, they can hear us. Can they hear us? They can see us now, so you know.
Yeah, I think they can hear us. Yeah.
I hope they don't see us.
Well,
so yeah, just to finish the point is that the FXR is obviously good as well. We've seen that win in the GT Amateur League as well, and with the same restrictions. So it just depend on the drivers and how much effort you put in as well. The FZR is normally the all-rounder, but all 3 of the cars can win on their day.
Picking it around, you're getting close. That's for 4th and 3rd. 3rd and 4th, and Rowdy is getting very close to peaking him. As a matter of fact. Because I wouldn't tell you lies. Oh, Rowdy in the wall.
It's not like he's telling us that ALMS and Brandon knows.
Yeah, and that merger now between Grand Am and ALMS paving the way for a new massive super amalgamation of MOE, IGTC, various GT World Series, and of course ITCC, all together to make LFS closed wheel racing series. That's what we're going to call it.
Okay. That also means, however, that we will have Daytona 24, the Petit Le Mans, and also the 12 Hours of Sebring in one series.
Yeah, that's what happened. Anyway, back to the racing. Rowdy still catching Pictonen.
Well, Wilco, we've not spoken much about the front runner, the driver at the head of the field. Team out evening for INX Racing still do a good job. We just double check the gap there. I think it was around 10 or so seconds the last time they crossed the line.
I think it was 9 seconds last time I saw it, as in the tracker says 8.79 seconds. The real world says 9.26 seconds, judging by LFS's window. Pictonen 5.5 seconds further back from that, and Mira Rowley only a second trailing in fourth. Meanwhile, there's a car in the pits. There's not, that's a rescue car, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. That's crap. Pictonen started to respond actually to Mira Rowley's advances. He's pulled another 10th away from Mira Rowley in the Team Virus car. But that's a lap down. Mira Road, you all saw that, I didn't. But Mira Road having an off, and that could even put him in the clutches of Dominik Engel here. With 1 hour 36 gone. We'll take a quick run down the top 10. And first place is still held by Team Wilkinson for NX Racing. As Price Racing in second. Core Racing Pro in third, and Team Virus Pro in fourth. Genuine Racing Pro in fifth. Team Rock Racing Pro in sixth. Team Rocky Racing seventh. Savage Sim Sports Amateur in eighth. Ninth goes to Conquest Racing Amateur, and Last Lap Motorsports Pro are 10th. The top 3 amateurs are Team Rocky Racing, Savage Sim Sports Amateur, and Conquest Racing Amateur. Don't forget you can keep up with all of the racing events here on PMD TV, as well as on the tracker by going to tracker.newdimensionracing.com. If you want to keep up with the conversation on this, you can talk on the live stream chat, as well as on Twitter by using the hashtag GT2WS. Also at mention Wilco868, CSF, even though he's not here, or GT2 World Series, and we'll be sure to talk to you. Nice. Table seal, I'm sorry, at table seal. Dom honked his horn at us, apparently. So, obviously that's a cry for attention for us, because obviously we haven't been paying him enough. So, should we go on board with him, Philip? I think we're already on board with him, Philip. That was preemptive, I'm disappointed in you, Philip. But Dominik Engel now chasing down Miro Rousey, and he is going to have to put that pedal to the metal to try and do this. He's faster by a considerable margin actually in the second split here. So it all happened for Dominik Engel. Got the that car there, the red one, Raptor Gaming, in between him. Who are a lap down, but still doable for Dominik Engel, who is comfortably 5th place now for the Genuine Racing Pro car, not GT1, they're all GT2 Pro. Sorry.
With a nice little three-car battle for 10th position between Morris and Last Lap Motorsports.
Sorry.
The Zinger now going around the outside and passing them, clearing them.
Ooh, Moroz
Ooh,
there.
Moroz.
Very twitchy on exit. Installed with the damage with Conquest earlier on. Still carrying that damage. He hasn't hit it yet. And here comes Genuine Racing as well. Gabauer, him in the amateur car for Genuine Racing. Not generic at all, but genuine. Moroz there getting very sideways, very oversteering the right-handers, and very understeering the left-handers. That seems to be the plague his damage is doing from at the moment, that suspension damage, Thilo, which is very heavy, especially on that right side.
Yeah. I think he just wants to avoid the next pit stop, and that's why he's still on track. Otherwise, well, he might have already been in pits, so he might have to survive another 10 minutes or so.
Still too far away from Moroz to make a move. Not so much after that braking zone. A lot of time and a lot of distance gains to Moroz from that. Still, I think, just outside that drafting sphere. Lamoth behind him in the other LLM car, the kiddie one, the amateur one. Well, look at this drafting Gabauer down the inside for turn 2. Going to have to outbrake Moroz, does so with relative ease. And Moroz in that damaged car can do nothing but let Gabauer sail by, wave goodbye to his 11th place. He's now at 12. Meanwhile, Timo even getting held up behind Anton Moroz through the twisty complex section here, and still being held up. And Moroz braking there, and that absolutely spotless car of Timo even with no suspension damage at all, but a tiny little bit. Now has a lovely little dent on the front end, thanks to Anton Moroz just being a little bit stubborn there, not letting even through straight away, and it's not going to cost him too much. I think Price still a considerable way behind him. But every little helps with Timo even, and that certainly did not help. Meanwhile, Engel is starting to lose the back of Miro Rousey, while Miro Rousey is starting to close back on the core car. So even with a little bit of damage carried from his incident, of which I'm not sure what it is, but you're all very familiar, he is real fast, and he's catching up on the corner for third place in the race.
Lonesome riders around the track, lonesome races even. Not much happening right now.
No, everything fairly sedentary. Sedentary? No type of rock. That's sedimentary, sorry. Everything kind of quieted down a little bit here. On,
with
GT2, well, so Boothie has to make a save.
yeah, I was just going to say, with a few of the cars who haven't changed drivers yet, it will be a case of whether the second driver is going to be able to keep up the pace or improve the pace, or maybe even be slower. And that's the thing about the last hour, of whether there's going to be any more battles really because of that.
Michael Booth, you're a genius. I think it's a good time now to take a quick look through the driver list so far and see who has changed drivers so far, and which driver was faster and which one is holding the pace a little bit better. And we'll start with Core Racing, Michael, and Pitkin not being able to keep up with Juicel's pace. They've both done exactly 50% of the race now, and 0.3 of a second in it. And how much do you think that'll affect the race overall for Core Racing Pro?
Well, it depends on who comes in at the end. I think the last race, Usela only did one stint. It might have been at the start, or he did one stint certainly. So maybe he's going to do another one, or whether it just might be the one again he does. We've got Isaac Price would be giving the car over to Miko Merilito, and Timo Evening giving the car over to Matti Benjarvi. They're both obviously quick, and they should be able to keep pushing at the front there. The amateur leader, Elton Chong for Team Rocky Racing.
Elton John?
Elton Chong, I said.
Oh, that's so. I'm sorry. That's really close. I'm gonna call him Elton John now. You understand that, right?
I am just waiting for some sort of Elton John song pun here, locally, as you get his back catalogue out and look for the most appropriate song.
I am. Although I may have to sing it myself. Anyway, would you like to make your point?
Point was just the second driver there, the Polish driver they've got there. I think his name's Kowiak, as I've consulted Google Translate for that one. It just depends. I don't know too much about him, so we'll keep an eye on him and see if he can maintain the lead here.
The other big one, though, is looking at the Team Virus Pro team, James Peace and Miro Rauti, with Miro still not being able to get to his teammate James Peace's back time. We've also got to think about the fact as well, though, that we're 1 hour 46 minutes through this race. That's about 46 minutes on average into the second stint, meaning that they still haven't hit the optimum of low fuel yet to be able to take on their teammates' time, have they?
Well, and saying that, a lot of the team stopped 1 hour 5, 1 hour 10 minutes, so it's even the second stint, or the first stint was fairly long compared to what you would normally have in a 3-hour race.
So we probably should have waited for this feature until
the second pit stops, yeah. And
yes.
What we said before about Core Racing pitting before that hour, they pitted just about, I think it was 1959 UTC, so it was basically almost an hour into the race, but there hadn't been that much racing compared to normal. There had been a few safety cars and obviously the 2 formation laps, so surprising to see them pit so early. Yes, Wilco.
Michael, I'm sorry I think it stopped. Something that has crossed my mind, I'm sure has crossed the mind of some people in the stream who have not taken part in this race, is my mention several times of very, very high clutch temperatures here at South City, and it's obviously an endemic problem for the FZR, but how much is that really going to affect the performance?
Well, once it gets to a certain point, the clutch starts slipping. So before then, you have to start lifting off when you're going, say, first to second to third gears. So that obviously costs a bit of performance. And yeah, you've just got to keep an eye on the clutch temperature. As we see, I think it was Core Racing Pro's second driver, or was it a third driver? Yes. Timo Suninen, I think is how you say it.
I think that's another one to ask Google Translate.
Which is surprising, as the tyre wear on the Core Racing Pro car isn't cause for concern, basically. I'm sure they could go another 5-10 minutes. And he does decide to stay out, so I wonder why he's in the server so early.
Tuning in. And the answer is probably a little bit of miscommunication. It does happen from time to time. And I believe most rulebooks say that you're only supposed to join the server the lap that you intend to pit, if I'm correct. But it's not normally particularly enforced rule, certainly not when it's an in-lap and a tiny little bit if there's been an error in communication or something like that. So
Well, especially when the server is nice and empty, so to speak. It's not a busy server.
No real risk at all for someone. Not Michael, but Jonathan Palmer, our race director, has also come and said that it's mainly just a loitering. It's not a major penalty. There's a fair amount of slack given if there's reason to give it. But it does mean that the core racing car is going to come in incredibly early and may even have to make a fourth stop here. Third stop here, Michael. That would be disastrous.
It would be. I wouldn't expect them to have factored that into the strategy. I've planned that. Because you can definitely do it out an hour stint on these GT2 cars here.
You look at those tyres that they're currently on, and obviously, unfortunately, you can't see the same data we can here at home, although we're at home as well. But anyway, but those tyres aren't too bad. You know, they've still got a little bit left in them, and I don't know whether this is planned to try and make an hour and 10 stint for this final hour. Try and stretch it out, see if they can race their way to a finish, to a reasonable finish. But it seems a strange strategy, Michael, considering how the tyres seem to be.
Especially when the stint was just 54 minutes, which is very weird.
R2, R3 versus R2, R2 on the track. That's between Michalik and Dubter and Michalik are battling, definitely. And down the inside comes Dubter on the Angry Angus racing car. Angry Angus holding the wide line, but CRT Racing was nowhere near the position where he could make an overtaking maneuver. And Michael, another quick thing to look at further down the field, you look at all the cars on track now, and they've all still got a fair bit of heat in their tyres, but you look at the car of CRT Racing, and those tyres are incredibly cold, Michael, and how much will that be affecting him now?
Challenge Racing Team is the name you're looking for there, logo.
Really, I just saw CRT and thought it was some adage to the old fat televisions, but please do go on.
Well, yeah, it's a team of a pair of Hungarians doing the driving there, but yeah, they are running R2, R3, which is a harder compound on the rear, which is fairly normal for an FZR, because obviously rear-wheel drive as he goes around the outside, but that's a very ambitious move. I think he's just trying to get the good exit, well. Yep. I think it's a bit silly to go side by side there. The best option is to get the draft, because now that XR power is probably going to give him a bit of an edge on the straight line stakes.
Aye, but it's a strange line from Michalik there, making him actually struggle to use that straight line. Oh, sideways through turn one, side by side. And Michalik managing to hold it and managing to hold the position, but oh, that was nervy. Meanwhile, nothing else is happening. Here comes the cathode ray tube racing though. Still looking for a wave at Michalik.
Don't forget to, of course,
racing.
Yep, go to Angry Angus's Racing, either the Facebook page or the Run for the Cure page. You can just click on their name.
Side by side, though, Boothy.
I can see that logo.
Side by side, coming into the final corner, and
It's the green
The
car
one
that's
sig-
the Angry Angus racing car here. But then we
Yeah,
pink at the
and-
next round, but I think he's going to be overtaken.
Well,
Now,
his,
the
his
thing
cheeks
is,
are going to be pink and rosy after that one, because that was a fairly
well,
easy move to make
he's
for
done
Dr.
the sensible thing here and getting back in the drive. Now, there's not. See, it's fairly tight, and that's not.
He's upside down! Oh my god!
He's back on the wheels, he's back.
Just as I said, it was fairly tight. He obviously got a bit mesmerised by the walls.
Oh! That was Core Pro, that was Core Racing Pro. Core Racing Pro, who were, I don't know where they were, 3rd, 4th in the Pro category, and 3rd or 4th overall, 5th overall. Dropped to 7th. Mikalik's car is destroyed, more contact between the two. Oh my words, I have never seen anything like that. Never seen anything like it.
Well, now you've got a reason to donate because the car's so. They need some spare spare parts, actually. Some more reason to donate, I would say. And now we've got Gusty connecting to the server to take over.
They've got a call looking at the damage of the car. They've got a fairly weighted front left damper, but other than that, they've got away with mainly cosmetic damage. But another issue may be that the front splitter does just scrape the floor a little bit when the car is under heavy braking. We'll check for that now, coming into the final corner, but it doesn't look like that is the case, and Sunderland seems to have a fair bit of control at the moment, but I'm fairly sure that there will be a protest there, and I'm fairly sure that there will be a penalty. Oh, Lyndon Lamar there with a very cheeky touring car push there to just very, very exquisitely move Nathan Lamoth's car the tiniest of inches out wide of the hairpin, and takes the position. Dennis Lynn there using his real life racing skills, hopefully not in Formula 1 because he would have knacked it, but in his current Camaro state that would be a good move. Not sure how it'll hold here, and how Nathan Lamoth will be feeling or fuming in that car, but Dennis Lynn with a touring car move up to 13th.
Another thing we haven't mentioned here actually is that Inex Racing could possibly take the championship title here. I'll just double check that with our race director, because especially with the Core Racing Pro being second in the championship and they're falling back down with that crash.
Revolutionary Racing and Raptor Gaming looking like they're going to battle in the next few moments. Although Revolutionary Racing there with a mistake through turn 1, and 1 with the mistake through Raptor 2, through turn 2 even, bringing them both closer together. Looking through the field as well, we've got, what else have we got? Everything's happening now, isn't it? Lyndon Moroz are battling. Lynn's going to have the draft down the back straight here, and should make go of this fairly easily.
I don't think there's going to be any contest there with Moroz's front right damage. Yeah, Dennis Lind repaired damage.
Gonna try and break a little.
His teammate Jacob Cooper repaired damage at the first stint, end of that. So he's got a fresh car, and he's been pushing quite a bit. So he's now up to 11th place.
Yep, and he's going to go up to 10th as well because Toff is in the pit lane. He's going to swap the car over to Jagotis, the Bazinga car, who have had a promising race today, if I think that Bazinga are as good as I think that they are. Engel in the pits. Engel is in the pit lane. Meanwhile, we've also had a driver joining for Oh, it's just Engel's teammate. Engel's teammate in. So it looks like it's going to go back to Ivanov the car. Final stint. Meanwhile, Philip Diaz buzzing around in my ear like a complete and utter nonce. James Peace coming back into the server. He's going to take over from Dennis and Miro Routy. There we go. He's going to take over the 6th now. But after 2 hours, it's still Team Evening and Inex Racing leading from Isaac Price in 2nd and Miro Routy for Virus in 3rd place. Meanwhile, Oscar tries to connect, fails to connect, comes back and reconnects. Meanwhile, on the overall championship overlook, Inex Racing, who are currently leading this race, if it stays like this, will take 53 points from the round, which is enough to lock the title to them. They have clinched the title if they win this race, no matter what anybody else does. So, I have literally no idea. Boothie, help me.
I think it's best we just wait until the end, or near the end, and we just let Jonathan Palmer work it out.
Yeah, Jonathan Palmer can come and tell us what the crack is in a few hours' time, in an hour's time, in fact, because we are 2 hours, 1 minute and 30 seconds through this race.
Now,
James Peace has
now
taken
one
the advantage now.
one person who we saw had a puncture at the previous round of pit stops was the 67 car of Elton Chong for Team Rocky Racing in his white XR car here. And he's got a driver on the server about to take over.
He's running in 4th place.
Yeah,
So
but he's decided to stay out. He's kept on going. And we'll just see if he does have any tyre problems now in his final lap.
And you can tell anybody this is your job. Sorry. Elton John.
It could be worse, Wilco. You could have gone for Candle in the Wind.
Too true, too true. Falkenberg comes back. Falkenberg comes back for Raptor. Meanwhile, this is the point for Elton Chong, where the tyre went for last time. It was that front left tyre that is cold on this car. It's also exposed because he's been quite heavily in the wars today, by the looks of things, taking heavy cosmetic damage and almost no actual mechanical damage. Ivanov is closing in on Genuine Racing Amateur. Ivanov, who has already pitted Conquest Amateur, sorry. Ivanov has already pitted in the Genuine Pro car, whilst Zula of Conquest Amateur has not yet made a stop. So Ivanov is going to start getting jiggy with them in the next few moments, I believe. Gabauer also starting to make his impression for Genuine Racing's amateur effort, and behind all of this train is Isaac Price, who still sits in 2nd place for the team Asset Price Racing, the one that I always forget the name of. Moraz in the way as well, and the Conquest Racing car, they've been contact with the wall, and into the wall goes Ivanov for Genuine Racing Pro. So it's all kicking off here now. Oh, there's fireworks. There are fireworks outside of my house, I'm sorry.
about a pretty slide through that corner.
We've got a bit of a gaggle of cars here, just ahead of the second place Isaac Price for Asher Price Racing, as he's about to lap Genuine Racing Amateur.
22 trying to land the 26.
And the car that you see on the screen on the inside, the sort of grey car, grey and black car, that is actually a lap down.
We've got cars in 3 different laps on one tiny part of the track currently.
That is South City for you.
Twenty-two now has to defend the position against Ivanov. Ooh, who gets a push by Isaac Price? The 22 has got a little gap to survive for now.
Alright. 22 and the 8 Ivanov and Duba still fighting away. Isaac Price, our second place man, he's going to struggle with this in his sights. He's maybe even might think about making a pit stop, Michael.
Well, Isaac Price did in the black car there, did pit only 55 minutes ago, so he kind of wants to go as far as he can.
But in his position right now, and especially with even an NX Racing making a pit stop this lap by looks of things, Venvari has come into the server, and Price hauled up behind Ivanov and the other car, Zuba. Maybe now might be a good time.
The question is whether his co-driver, well, I suppose he only has to do 52 minutes, so yeah, you could really come in at any time. And
yes,
of course there is
not forget about the 75% rule. 75?
75% it is, but I don't think he's in danger of going over that.
Ivanov really hitting that inside wall there, letting Isaac Price pass. This is getting scary. Price there making a mistake, and Ivanov wants it back. Price really does have to get a move on now if he wants to stay in front of Ivanov and doesn't want to hold their pace. Meanwhile, out comes the NX Racing car. Isaac Price still ahead of him, of course, because he's just paid, but still had a comfortable buffer by the looks of things, does Fentami. Once Price makes his stop, 2 hours 8 minutes, 2 hours 9 minutes gone in this 3-hour event. And Michael, why don't you give the top 10 positions a rundown?
Top 10, well, probably might change after the various pit stops that are still happening. So for the moment, Asher Price Racing have jumped into the lead ahead of INEX Racing. Team Virus Pro, they've made their final pit stop. They're in third. Let me just check, because I think Savage Simsports Amateur are about to come into the pits, and they are currently the leading amateur car. Okay, so yeah,
Yes.
Savage Sim Sports Amateur do make a pit stop, and Blitz is going to jump out of the car, and he'll be replaced by Martin Kappa.
Oscar trying to go around the outside of. Oh God. Team Rocky Racing, that'll do. But the two Team Rock Racing affiliated sides shouldn't really make contact, but Tommy Oscar is having to be having to push here a little bit, and he has actually let Pallock drive down the inside of both of them, and Pallock gets past Team Rocky Racing and is still hounding Tommy Oscar. You'd expect those two to work together, Michael.
Yeah, but then obviously I think Tommy wants to get as far up as he can, but then you've also got to bear him.
Actually slipping Tommy past and having the Team Rocky Racing car hold up Pallock a bit. They're both on the same lap. It's all perfect and legal. Would really help their pros' effort. Meanwhile, there is a car.
But Wilco, I think you should listen to the voice in your ear, and that 66, the Core Racing Amateur car, still has to pit, so it's not too big a deal.
Right.
I think Wojciech Kubiak in the Team Rocky Racing car just has to concentrate, and he was leading obviously before the pit stop, so just got to concentrate and get his head down.
Price in the pits. Two Gen-R cars are battling.
And we've got
That's
one
Kappa
Jenna
and
member
Ivanov.
now here in the booth.
And
the power!
Sideways, locking his rear brakes and slapping that wall. Slap. And even I've gone straight back past these two. Our teammates, these two, are both affiliated to Genuine, not Generic Racing. Looking at the championship battle as well, they're both neck and neck, as a matter of fact, aren't they? Sitting third and fourth with the pro effort, about 40 points, 30 points ahead of the amateur one. So these two are still championship contenders, and they're both contending with each other, Michael. Or Thilo, either one of you, take it away, talk, go.
Well, there was a bit of a silence there, but that was because we were having information fed to us. Wilco.
We were, but we had information fed to us after I said, go take the floor. Anyway, I'm going to read that information to you and then explain it, because Philip's an idiot and he couldn't. Miralito, who's taken over the car from Isaac Price, is still a fair way away from the NX racing car. That was because you could see quite clearly that the car of Isaac Price was being severely held up by the battle between Suba and Ivanov. Mr. Diaz, you moron. Talking about Ivanov, he's still fighting Gebauer for 5th place, and whoever manages to snatch this one will be very good, well off 4 points, won't they, guys?
Yeah, however,
There we
I
go.
would say that they shouldn't be in each other's way. I mean, number 10 is currently the leader in the point standings of the amateur class, so they need some points. However, it currently looks like a solid 2nd place if they don't have to pit. The pro car, however, needs to stay alive in the championship, and we've got one of the pro car drivers here in the booth. Dominik Engel joined us.
Hello.
Dom, hello, it's Dominik Engel.
Yes, it is.
Dom, how's it going?
It was going great, then it all went tits up.
Talk to us about how it impressed vertical.
Well, it's going pretty well, considering about yesterday I didn't even have a second driver at this point. but yeah, I had a very nice and unique mistake in turn 1, just as I was talking to my teammate about
That was a firework, sorry.
well, basically how much fuel we'd need for the last stint, and I just hit the inside curb and then absolutely slammed into the right hand side wall, and had probably like 2/3 more right side wishbone damage, upper and lower. So I instantly had to pit because I couldn't even turn left anymore.
And that would be a severe issue in NASCAR racing, where your car sitting in 5th place, battling away with your other car, and you know what's going to happen, which one's going to fall in line, and which one's going to lead the way to the finish.
I think the pro car should be the way to finish only because it's the only way it can be. It doesn't matter for the AmCars Championship. So if we won any chance in the championship for, I think, 2nd, we're out of the win after this. What could be described as a rather disorganized round. Yeah, if we still want to have a chance to beat Corp, then we have to finish as high as possible.
Meanwhile, the amateur car is in the pit lane. Also of note is the Core Racing Pro car is about to make a move on Team Rocky Racing in the XRR. I think that one's Team Rocky Racing.
Yeah, the white one is Team Rocky.
Yep, the Corp car just lifting off the throttle there, waiting for the car to get around the corner, and now he's going to try and make the dive coming into turn 1. And there it is, a little bit of a fake on the way in, but fairly comfortable move from Core Racing Pro. They take 7th place in their hunt to get back up into the higher position where it was before that terrible incident with that other car.
Now in the battle for the amateur lead,
There is
22.
no question about the battle for the amateur lead, Michael.
Well, because
The
one car
championship, I
hasn't
think he
pitted
means.
yet. Car 22, the yellow car of Conquest Racing Amateur, has not yet made the final pit stop. And they last pitted
26
just
seconds
about
out.
yeah, they just pitted about an hour ago, so coming up for their final pit stop.
Don't
It's a
forget,
question
though,
of
they went
whether they can-
immensely long
Yes.
last time, but they haven't seemed to do it this time, judging by the tyres.
Yeah, it's a different driver.
It's a different drive, and there was no need to go along, because once you got along once, you can just push and fill short on in terms of fuel the next 2 stints. How big of a gap do they have over their 2nd place?
26 seconds, I think it was. They crossed the line for the last.
26 seconds, so they won't be able to, might not be able to get out in time, I don't think. They'll have
Well,
less fuel, they'll have less fuel to put in, but
Less fuel, they'll have newer tyres for a little bit later on in the race, although you might see the 67 car start to pull away early on, but they'll be caught back by that 22 when their tyres start to get into temperature, into sequence, into phase. So with 2 hours and 18 minutes gone, Michael, our top 5?
top 5, NX Racing, I'm saying NX just to please team for once. And then Asher Price. Let me just check the gap, or unless you have the gap there, Wilco, if you want to read the gaps.
I don't have the gaps.
Gap, okay, it's 18 seconds back. That looks like a fairly comfortable run in case unless a safety car happens or something like that. Further 6 seconds behind is the Team Virus Pro car driven by James Peace. First amateur car, like we said before, Conquest Racing Amateur. and then Genuine Racing Pro behind them. So should be, once Conquest Amateur pit, it should be a top 6 or 7 Pro lineup there. The other Pro cars, Dennis Lind is down in 12th, so he's made up a few more positions. Raptor Gaming 15th, Savage SimSport Pro 16th, and Last Lap Motorsport Pro, the last Pro car running, in 17th.
Thank you very much, Michael. And don't forget, you can keep up with all this information on the NDR tracker by visiting tracker.newdimensionracing.com. You can also keep in contact and in touch with the racing on the live stream chat, as well as on Twitter, by using hashtag GT2WS, or by mentioning at Wilkinson, at Table Seal, or at GT2WS. Ask us anything. Ask us about Michael Booth's late homosexuality. I mean, you don't need to ask, but you know it's there. So, you know, keep crawling, guys.
May I mention there's a free-made battle.
96, just quickly interrupting there. Dennis Lind going down the inside of Martin Capal. That's Anthony Esports taking 11th place from Savage SimSports, making up the problems Jacob Cooper had with his damage, and Dennis Lind on a charge. Dom.
Conquest in the pits, now pulling away. Rocky takes over the lead.
I would have mentioned exactly the same thing as you, so not much point of mentioning it again.
Sorry.
Yeah, they are beating Jenna, it seems.
Yes, they are. Certainly not, however, going to pip the Team Rocky Racing car.
Let's call it Team Rock Racing 2.
13 seconds. But it's Team Rock Racing 3, officially.
3, yeah. Even.
It's impossible. This whole world is impossible. I don't know how you guys have put up with this.
If Team Rock Racing's team managers listening to us, we request a rename of this team.
We do. We also require a rename of Elton John, because I'm just too tempted to sing. On board now with Dennis Lind as he's trying to catch up with Bazinga, and is doing quite well at it. Bazinga in 10th place and taking this man into one of the... I don't know what I'm talking about. Dennis Lind overtaking this man will put him into 10th. Would certainly consolidate not all of, but certainly some of the issues Jacob Cooper had earlier, and try and just close that gap in a little bit more.
He's got some toast tyres though, Dennis has, in that R2R2 setup.
He does, but
seems to be managing it.
He also doesn't have too far to go either. Only 37 minutes left in this race, if I can count.
Yep.
Yes. So, yeah, Dennis should be very comfortable in making that kind of numbers with those kind of tyres. Right?
Especially since he's catching that Bazinga car like second a lap.
And in fact, he's right up Bazinga's trumpet right now.
I think his name is Jagadits. And I think it would be very wise of him to let Dennis Lind pass so that he can catch Francois Marais.
Francois Marais.
Okay, we can all teach ourselves something, can't we?
Genuine.
Francois Marais.
Oh, that's a better wall hit. Oh, it's actually been quite lucky. He didn't get that much damage from it.
Or Bazinga can just wait and then he will have an incident like that.
Yes, quite. Also, note we've got Martin Kapow approaching from behind. He's still challenging these guys, but we've also got James Peace, who's a lap ahead. He's in 3rd place right now for Team Byron. He wants to be past this trailing group. Hopefully Dennis Lind's damage not affecting him too much, not after the horrible start. His team had to the rear.
Well, that's the problem with the R2R2, I think it's probably a bit more fragile, or its damage affects how the tyres wear and how the car handles. I think a bit more than R2R3 set.
Yes. Tommy and Sunanen. Tommy, Oscar, and Sunanen. That's team.
They are at least on the same straight.
And Sunanen are vaguely in the same general area, not much more than that. So we'll take our attention back to Dennis Lind.
Dennis getting blue flags. Dennis pays about to lap him.
Yeah, but we're looking back from this Bazinga car with that massive Bazinga on the rear wing. Bazinga, he's looking back at Dennis Lind. Oh, he's the one again, Dennis Lind. Dennis Lind seems to have quite the natural affinity to the walls this evening.
And always remember, Wilco, if you want instant Bazinga, you can go to instantbazinga.com.
That is one of the most... And Dennis letting him pass, Dennis letting Isaac Price pass, James Biggs pass.
Names aren't your strong point today, are they, Wilco?
Names, team names, corner names, incidents.
Down names.
I mean, I've forgotten turn one is turn one several times today. That's how bad it's gone.
Silverstone where he moved the pit lane, that would be understandable. But not here.
On the brakes is Dennis Lind. Ooh, slows the car down nicely.
James Pace in the wall.
Amateur battle. Something's happening with the amateur battle. The 67 is not going amazingly quickly in comparison to Gadja.
Still 10 seconds.
Yeah, the gap is still 10 seconds, but they are getting about half a second to a second a lap.
Well, if you do the maths, Michael Booth, that means it'll take about 20 laps for the Conquest Racing car to close in. .30 minutes to go. 30 minutes.
It is a shame we can't hear Phil Diaz. I mean, we should really get him hooked up for the final round.
We should one day, because he adds a certain something to the commentary box.
What a lack of space for everyone around him.
A lack of space. I mean, I'm sweating like a bulldog in a chip shop. Bulldog? Yeah, bulldog. Fat lass. Where'd I get that from? Fat lass in a chip shop.
What kind of chip shops do you have, Wilco, in your area?
Bulldog, then I don't know.
This is going incredibly well.
Would you have it any other way, Dom? Would you?
Oh really? I didn't know why I expected something else, to be honest.
Dom, you know that it's the height of professionalism in here when you've got Christopher Ford, Owen Harmon, and Phil Diaz is relaying sensible information. You know that's the peak of sensibility. But when you add me to the equation, everything just goes breasts vertical as you.
Will do. It's that long ago since we commentated the Kyoto 250. Trust me, I don't forget stuff like that.
Oh, that was a good one. That was
There's a yellow flag for Tommy Osgaard. I was just on board with him there at the final corner, and that was because Angry Angus Racing were having a bit of a moment in the scenery. They were inspecting the rubber on just the marbles on the outside of the corner, I think.
Well, it wouldn't be the real moment for them today.
If we had marbles in LFS, they would have picked them all up.
And that would have been a terrific excuse for their poor lap times, but
yeah, I'm not sure how he did a 158 lap time compared to the normal 136-ish, 35. But I think his right rear tyre being on fire does explain some of that.
Meanwhile, Ray Kingsbury is on fire. PB PB's dropping at a rate of knots there, 30.36 for him. That's 0.2 of a second faster than he's ever done before. As we hit the 2 hour and 29 minute mark,
30 minutes to go, 20
we
laps
have exactly
left.
30 minutes to go, around about 20 laps. Meanwhile, we've got Dennis Lynn pressuring Jagadits.
Again, he's been in that position. Oh,
Lynn
it's the wall again.
The 47 also has a slight contact.
He can't blame me for that. I didn't jinx it because I hadn't even said the words by that one.
Lind nearly again hitting the wall there, misjudging his corner entry, and Dennis Lynn just can't find a way past this man without hitting something, can he? It seems like...
It's not the best of sectors to
here
drive
we go.
behind another car in
Oh, no, the
second.
inside
Oh,
contact
and
sideways.
that's very fair of him to wait, although he didn't really have a way to go.
Well, if Dennis Lynn had waited, he would have slammed into the side of the car again, so...
Yeah, that's definitely going to be a pass here.
That would have had an insult injury. We've got a bit of bump drafting here from Dennis Lynn. Bump drafting. Not sure if that's legal or not.
Bump drafting is illegal.
Bump drafting is illegal in all NDR leagues, I think.
Apart from the
TCC, of course, because that's just mental.
ATCC is not active anymore, therefore I don't count it. The Kyoto 250 is not a league. Maybe it's the Kyoto 150 if Phil wants to shout about that.
Here comes Jagadits though, he's got the draft, he's got the chance to try and make it back. Dennis Lynn even tapping the wall, going into turn number 1. Now Jagadits has the inside line and now he dives on the brakes, but Dennis Lynn so much later. But is he too late? No. That's that. So 30 minutes to go, and Michael, talk to us about the race so far. What's happened?
What's happened in the race so far? Quick summary. Incidents. There was an extra formation lap at the start. The back of the field being a bit out of formation. We had a bit of carnage at turn 1, including Reno Coots for Speedo Racing deciding to flip himself on another car, from what I saw on the replay. And we had a few more laps, and then another safety car for a car flipped at the hairpin. In all of that, Team Evening and Inex Racing got themselves to the front of the field, where they've stayed ever since.
Thank you.
Also, we've seen 3 flipped cars today, and only 2 cautions.
We have, and for South City, we now have 24 cars left in comparison to the 29 that were slated to start the race. 2 of them did not start, and 3 retirements, so not the worst attrition rate we've ever seen here at South City by any stretch of the imagination, gentlemen. Team Rock Racing, Rock.
It's the proper Team Rock Racing.
The proper Team Rock Racing, which I can't find for love nor money.
That's the FZR thing. That one, that's actually black and white. Yeah, when? Now. But they're easily distinguishable because Tommy Oscar's pro
Dennis
car
Lynn
is
just
pretty
put
brown.
Kingsbury into the wall.
Dennis Lynn, yeah.
After getting around 47, Kingsbury was like in a pool billiard thingy, slamming from one wall to the other. And also I saw Dennis Lynn involved in this. Very close.
I suppose you're talking about 27?
27, yeah.
Well, that's got some damage.
Oh, there are 2 Kingsburys on track. Oh dear.
Oh, he's 1-9 off.
We've got 3 TR cars as well. Got multiple ones of everything.
3 TRR cars, 3 de facto LLM cars.
Meanwhile, the core racing car is catching Tommy Oscar in the that Team Rock Racing Pro one.
Rock Racing Brown Edition.
The one with the brown. doesn't look particularly pretty.
It looks like they've just copied the poodle skin.
Now, I wasn't aware that that was in existence, but thank you, Michael Boo.
It's a bronze speedo skin. What else could it be called?
Oh, I remember that. Do you know what else I remember, guys?
Birthday.
That was the perfect time to just cue in a commercial from the Speedo Dog, but unfortunately we don't have it on file.
Got one. Yeah, I've got one.
So that
This is GT2 World Series. We're ad free.
Well, we
Here
had
we are on
we had it
public
once
funded
this
television.
season, I think.
Public funded television.
It's the only American broadcast ad-free, I should add. And it's also the only American broadcast without any beep sounds over swear words.
And also, the only one that NASCAR will not attempt to shut down.
Don't be that sure. But they'll claim we stole the left-handers for the remaining season or something stupid.
Yeah, now I've said that, we will get this stream has been shut down due to a copyright claim from NASCAR, yeah, using the word
No,
NASCAR.
just because
But
we use the word car, and that's half of NASCAR.
anyway, head back to the racing. We've got this battle. This battle is happening now. Tommy Oscar
And Moroz
Team
is helping.
Rock
Moroz is
Racing
helping
and
so
stood in
badly.
for Core Racing, and Moroz is helping Core Racing a hell of a lot here. I believe a former Core racer in his own right, is he?
What? Tommy is, but
I'm talking out of my backside, I'm afraid. Here comes the corner.
late
A bit of a
for
dive. Oh, but Moroz leaves the room. But bit of a contact there on the exit.
yeah, one lap down.
Moroz.
This is,
That was a bit interesting.
Kill the Z and add an N, then you have
Anton
him.
Moroz, you cheeky chappy there, making a bit of contact on the exit of the corner. Suddenly, after such a horrible time in his stint after that very early incident with the car, that I can't remember what it's called, that hit the wall, the XRR, came back, it was Angus in fact, that came back onto the racing track. But he's now fighting to make his way forward to 5th place and looking over in the direction of our race director, who is beautiful, Jonathan Palmer, wondering how all of this will affect the championship from Bahrain now. Jonathan?
Pretty sure Core should have, not Core, I mean INX should have secured it after this if it ends
Apparently,
now.
according to how it is now, INX would still have it unless Core leapfrog Tommy Ostgaard. If Core get 5th, I'm just reading.
If Core get 5th, then INX still has to do the final round to secure at least the attendance bonus to win the championship.
But what if Simon Cattell was doing the NX for a stint and he forgot to wake up at 4 o'clock and they forgot to start it?
And maybe one of you guys who actually knows what the hell they're talking about could maybe fill in the guys about when the next race is, where it is, and how they can tune in.
So first of all, you have the beautiful live stream page. And down there's a section called Upcoming Events. There you find the GT2 World Series Round 6, which is on September 29, 2012.
And let me guess, it's a 6-hour race?
Right.
6 hour race. That's the Kyoto Grand Touring. Kyoto Ring Grand Touring.
Ring ring.
BMX Twins, which one's that one? That's Ray King. He's just flattening his PB so far. So much so that I think he hasn't actually done any practice. Dennis Lind has passed the General Amateur Cup. Dennis Lind up back in 9th place in the Infinity esports car that Joseph Cooper struggled with
Joseph,
so
you
very
mean
much.
Jacob.
Jacob.
Joseph.
I've called him Joseph about 4 times today. I'm sorry, Jacob.
Attention all teams, about 20 minutes left, that's about 13 laps.
Can they hear that? Right, okay, you can hear that. So you don't
There
need
you
to
heard a
be-
prime example of Chris Wilkinson being confused.
Don't be too mean to him. It's his first commentary job in how many months?
Not that many, actually.
I mean, and look
James
at
Peace
the
just past Vico Miralito and James Peace. James Peace has just got past the team buyers. But Miralito is going to have
yeah,
the
he's got the
slipstream.
draft.
He's got the slipstream coming down this pit straight. Probably gonna. No, he's gonna come out. Coming out through the kink in just
he's
before
got the
turn 1.
advantage.
James Peace though maybe gonna fight back. Coming at the first corner, second corner. Sorry,
Wow,
but it's very sideways.
that was a bit of a moment there for James
Good,
Peace and the
good
dipper.
save though from James Peace. James Peace is now on the attack.
Not making any prisoners this car either. He's using some of the walls to take corners in a different way, let's say.
Unconventional, I think, is the correct term, Dominik, for driving style at the moment. But it seems to be
Some
getting the
wall
job done
riding.
as he managed to get past Miralito briefly there. Only for Miralito to fight back and take the position for himself. Miralito touching the wall now. So they come down towards the hairpin. Obviously a mistake from Miralito because of a 4-second
Yeah, he's
gap.
also got a bit of a he's also got
dent
a bit of
right
damage,
here,
yeah.
Ooh, sideways
Oh,
contact!
Oh,
That was a-
Vico
oh,
went
there
the
were
wall
two
again,
big
and that's James Peace easily passed, but maybe even
Not
make
necessarily.
Ah,
More contact!
Kingsbury
Matt
searches
Kings
for a
wants a
safety car.
Why does Matt Kings want the safety car? These two still going door to door. We'll continue with this as they come into the final corner. Wheel to wheel contact, rubbing. Miralito will hold the position for now. More contact as James Peace clouts the wall. The exit and will not be able
27
to fight
has a
back
puncture.
on the pit straight. The 27
Oh,
car has a
27.
puncture. Where is he?
big damage, rear
He's
puncture.
currently
He's
in the
20th
narrow
on the
section.
server.
Oh,
And he's
God.
spinning.
Oh, God. Oh my God.
Is no. Surely he should get back to the pits though. That doesn't need to be a safety car for that. I mean, if he just drives slow enough.
Oh my dears. Please. Please, Jonathan Palmer. Please.
All the damage around the car.
But I'm not sure. There's no way that is worth a safety car. No way.
We have a red-green flag. Interesting.
It's not green. It's just red is the new green in fashion.
Ah, okay. Good to know.
Only got 2 right-handers to go.
And he
that
spins
one
around
didn't go
Twickenham.
too well, but he's pretty close to the pit, so don't expect a safety car for that.
I would hope not.
Unless this car explodes and bursts into flames.
He could still flip yet, though. He could still flip. We've got a
I don't
big
think
gap
that's his goal, Wilco.
pack of
I don't
cars
think that's his goal.
behind Toth. The white flag is out for Kingsbury's car. He is right in
he's
front of this
holding it.
group.
Oh,
That was
he held
that
it.
was a good drift. Philip Diaz.
One wall, the other
he's not
wall.
having contact with the wall.
And don't spin, don't spin,
Please,
don't spin.
please make the pit lane. He does make the pit lane, thankfully. So this group is safe from that.
Hope he
particular.
fixes his car. Oh, and damages his engine.
Let's go
It
back
looks
to
good.
Miralito and Peace, though, as Peace is carrying some quite heavy damage on that front right. So, though, is
They're both
Miralito
having a-
damage all around. Damage all around, but not a drop to drink. Lynn's got past Conquest. How are
Also-
How are Conquest doing in relation to Team Rocky Racing, though?
They are currently, wait a second, they're on the split. They are
Miralito being
7.5
held up-
seconds
sorry.
behind.
Sorry to interrupt, but Miralito being held up heavily by 2 GT. Oh Peace hits the wall hard. Very hard. Look at his suspension.
Oh, he's got a red lower wishbone. He probably even has to pit to repair that.
Second
Look at how much off centre that steering wheel is. Probably like 30 degrees off centre to the right.
Can we get it on
not
board?
gonna drive that to the end of the race.
Oh,
that is lit!
And here comes the 22. Oh my God.
That is surely gonna be a bonus from Infinity there.
Sorry to say differently, but James Peace simply turned in.
Fight.
That's how I saw it. I saw Dennis already being to the inside and then James Peace turning in.
German civil war in our commentary box, but meanwhile there is a battle on track, and it's for 5th place between Core Racing and Tommy Oscar to keep the title alive if NX Racing don't turn up.
If I'm not wrong, if Virus have a very long pit stop, which I don't think it's going to be quite long enough, maybe Core are even going to be in 5th through the battle alone, because they're not that far behind.
Here,
battle for second.
Inside line coming into the hairpin though. Lap 100.
Cut back. Cut back to the inside.
He's got the inside line.
It's not
Oscar
wide
leaves him
enough,
room.
but it's surely going to be a draft on the back straight on the motorway.
Well, let's find out, and Sunderland will be pedal to the metal, head underneath the steering wheel, trying to hide. Oscar is hugging that inside wall. Now, Sunderland is alongside, he can cause.
Oh, and they make
wider,
contact on the straight.
Contact before the corner, and Tommy Oscar will hold the inside line, hold the corner for now. Sunderland
James Peace
back
still.
up, better exit, maybe contact here. Tommy Oscar decides to turn in, doesn't, thinks better of it, is a bit wider.
They will overtake
The
James
moves of
Peace.
Sunderland. Peace in the pits. Peace has had to make a pit stop. He's not going to be able to continue with that damage, and he's going to drop way further back than he ever expected. But here comes Sunderland coming in through turn 1 and into turn 2. Doesn't get too wide. Now can he make the move stick? Diving down the inside into turn 2 on the brakes.
Oh,
Bit
nice
too wide,
slide.
bit sideways.
Oscar
Can
almost
Tommy
got
Oscar
the
now
switch
try
back.
and make a move on him? Can Oscar make the move? No. Oh, but it's wide for
Oh,
Sunderland. Here comes Oscar down the inside.
alongside
More contact. Sunderland and Oscar contact again! Sideways, broadside from Sunderland! This is incredible racing, As Sunderland seems to have taken the lead from Oscar and probably will stick with it now, unless Oscar can do something a little bit special as they come up through turn 7 up the hill. Around the bend, I'm dying. I've got no 7 up left. Oscar just not being able to hold on to that unrelenting attack from Core Racing Sunderland. A great battle there, gentlemen. Great battle.
Yeah, he really tried his hardest to get past, and he finally got what he wanted for about the last 20 minutes or so.
I bet Sunderland now looks to the top right of his screen and then thinks, what? Why I'm 4th?
Meanwhile, we're
Because they
looking
were
at
battling
Marais
still.
and Gadget. Sorry to interrupt once again. Gadget and Marais for 2nd place in the amateur class, 9th and 8th position overall between Genuine Amateur and Conquest Amateur. Of course, they're amateur. It's the amateur battle. That's the point. Coming into the hairpin now, Marais having to start looking to defend here.
Well, that's the genuine racing amateur car got passed. Obviously, while we were talking about the body
got past, yeah.
Fifth.
Because
And they are only 4 seconds behind the leader.
That is
4.6.
true. What happened there? Let me just check the lap time.
Well, this
Previous
is
lap time from
turning into an
Void.
And
Oh,
look
yeah,
where
it was
the
a
Bazinga
36.
car is. The Bazinga car also not too far behind.
Yeah, this is four of the most competitive amateur cars on the grid. All heat together here in the final few stages. This is for a 3-hour race. This has turned out incredibly. So that we're sitting here. With,
I think I realised what happened. Obviously, when James Peace and Dennis Lynn came together, I think that might have held up
Yeah.
Gajda from Conquest Racing. So that's obviously why he lost 2nd place. Not sure what happened to but Kubiak there from Team Rocky Racing to lose so much time, but it seems like all these 4 amateur cars are going to come together in one big pile of a big amateur battle here.
Yeah. Also of note, we've got Puff and Torn. Is it Torn? It is Torn. Who are both a lap down and will both have to try and somehow make their claims in this battle as Todd holds up the genuine racing car at the rear as that puts Gadget right back on the assault. Down this back straight.
10 minutes remaining, approximately 7 laps.
Bit too deep and a bit too sideways for Gadget. Looking at tyres as well and longevity and who's got sitting on the best set of tyres. Bazinga don't look too clever. Their tyres are a little bit worn away in comparison to the genuine and Conquest racing cars just ahead of them.
I think the bigger factor is right front suspension damage on the Conquest car, because that's not, well, it's not massive, but I'm sure that affects the handling a certain bit.
Broken LFS.
It's roughly a third, well, let's say a quarter, of upper and lower wishbone.
Oh God.
'67, though the 10 and 22 had to overtake the 15 car, is still losing time. So the team Rocky Racing, the third team of the TRR entry, is losing ground on number 10, 20 and number 22. So Jenna and Conquest.
The 67 didn't have that great pace. I'm not sure if it has to do with damage, because the tyres are on wearing bad. Well, they wouldn't wear to the pattern I would expect them to wear. They're a bit hot in the middle on the right side. As I mentioned before, the R2 setups generally are way more, well, damage influences out the cars are handling way more on a single compound setup with R2s.
And look at Dennis Lind. Dennis Lind is right at the back of Bazinga and now making an overtaking attempt. What a sudden move. And he's got it into the narrow section.
I think that's about the third or fourth time that Dennis Lindis has to pass Bazinga and then repass them after something's happened. So up ahead, we've got the Conquest Racing amateur car ahead of Dennis Lind, third place. And then the Genuine Racing amateur car in second, and then finally, there is a lapped car. In fact,
there are two lapped cars, Thorn, the 93 and the 98 of Engel Racing.
Only 7 minutes to go as well.
Down to 2.5 seconds.
yeah, they're
Engel Racing goes out of the way.
half a second they're taken out of Team Rocky Racing's XR in the lead of the amateur class.
5 laps remaining.
Even if it doesn't, well, if there is no win for Gen Am, it's still perfect for the championship, since the 67 car, the new entry for this race, and the car behind is has no points after car switch, so.
That is true, and co-racing amateurs who are second in the championship in amateur, they are a fair bit down, they're sixth.
Look at this melting gap, look at the 10, how close they are now to the 67. You can see how the gap melts down.
A second almost in the first sector on this lap. He can already see them easily before every corner.
We're not forgetting the battle in the lead. The lead of the race is still in the hands of Inex Racing.
Oh, 67!
And there is a promo for 67. Oh, and there's a bit And that all happened as Chris Wilkinson joined the server and timed it out, and they
Yeah,
67
dear.
Team Rocket
Oh
Racing
my
sideways
Oh
just before
my
the
God.
final sector.
I just saw that on the stream, the crash.
67. Well,
Oh,
it,
again! Oh no, that's Intercom. Sorry, I'm an idiot.
yeah, except for Bazinga, they can. Well, I don't think they can. Can't they? Because Marie already pulled 3.4 seconds, 5 minutes remaining.
What a recovery, really. Thinking that the Amco, the Jenna Amco, with one of the cars involved, had the somewhat, well, mentionable, worth mentionable, medium-sized starting crash.
The 67 lost a couple of positions in those two spins.
Yeah, he's now
He's
down
up
in 6th in
So it looks like the amateur top 2 is going to be the amateur top 2 of the championship, Genuine Racing Amateur, and then Bazinga. Which was not a result we were thinking about an hour or so ago, really.
No, really not.
And I think... No, that's Team Rocket
67 is
Racing.
again stuck in a wall into traffic.
Oh, braking's just about avoided him. Oh, and Jenna Pro gets turned around by raking in the hairpin. What the hell happened there?
Well, I can explain you what happened. They were 3 wide. They just avoided the spinning car in Schumacher versus Hackingen style, and then I think they misjudged braking zone, and then they ended up in even off. So Dennis Lind getting close to François Marie.
Yeah, and if in fact Lynn does catch him and it gets a little bit nasty between the two, and Maria doesn't do the wise thing and just let him through and let him go.
Trust me, he will let him through.
Jagged is just sitting there waiting, you're right. Mark Powell is driving around.
4th position in class, 15 seconds behind the lead of the class, or 6th division.
2 minutes 15 seconds, 2 laps.
Well, Wilco, I did just mention that earlier in the broadcast it would be all about the driver swaps and who their second drivers were.
Boothie, you were
And it did seem like Team Rocket Racing there did have a bit of a problem. Their second driver did do a good job for most of the stint, but then just a little incident there at the end cost them dearly.
Oh, he's in the wall in front of Sonnen, who of course is our core racing pro driver at the moment. The horn goes off. Sniper Toolbars is having a fit, but that's not to worry. Sonnen making full place now with James Pieces' demise hitting the wall. Thankfully he didn't catch fire, but
That's not one of the features.
So Wilco, this is the final lap we're going to now. Some way to sum up the race, really?
Well, as the first full GT2 World Series race I've ever seen, it's been I've been very, 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 very surprised by it in how almost touring car like it is for the entire 3 hours. It's been incredible, and let me come to the next one.
Well, the next one is a 6-hour race, so you can enjoy a lot more of it.
Yes! Thilo, what are your thoughts? Kingsbury, what happened to Kingsbury?
I think he had parked up in the pits and now he's doing his final lap.
No, he's still on track. And sliding around it with a four-wheel driven car, and hits a wall and hits another wall.
But the time is up, so Van Harvey is on his final lap, going through the hairpin now for NX Racing, and according to where people are right now, NX will only have to start 6-hour race at Kyoto to win the championship.
Well, 4th place. Okay. Well, to start and not to get disqualified, nor getting any other penalty points.
Yeah, I doubt that's going to happen. Yep, I think they're going to be able to do it, and here they come, Wilco.
If NX don't turn into complete morons, they will have sealed the championship right now with this win at South City. Dennis Lind has just been pipped by Jagadits, has he? They're going to...
Yes, yes.
Obviously they're going to keep racing here. They come down the back straight, but Lind is actually behind Jagadits, and he's got 2 flat tyres. Dennis Lind has 2 flat tyres. Wow, we missed this.
Because
I think he had a problem with the hairpin and he spins.
Great avoidance by Gadget. So they're happy with a 10 car. The amateur winner though, the 10... What? What?
Yeah, Francois Marie just crossed the line, winning the amateur class.
Will win the GT2 World Series amateur race.
Bazinga second in class.
Bazinga second, Gadget for Conquest in third. I have no idea what's happened there. Dennis Lind with 2 flat tyres crossing the line, losing quite a few races. By the end, Moralito is finished. Ivanov yet to finish, but he will finish, I assume, in 3rd place for Genuine Racing, if I recall correctly.
Sunanen! Look at Sunanen! He's slow, he's very slow.
Oh, Sunanen's got a puncture! Sunanen has a puncture!
I think he's apparently running out of fuel.
He's also got a puncture as well. But won't affect his race, won't affect his finishing position. Will it? Yes, it will. He goes behind Oscar. Down to 5th place. So what does that mean for the championship? Does that mean, in fact, that Core Racing, NX Racing have sealed the championship?
No, they still have to start.
Wakaimashita. So it's a long race here for 3 hours, but
so everything is fine for in the West without the Wolves.
Yeah, or in the East without the Eagles, and with the Dung without the Beagles.
In the Lowlands without the Lions.
So try and get as many people we can talk to on here as we can. Obviously we'll try and get at least one representative from NX Racing. But as we sit here awaiting all the cars to make their way around the track to their finishing garages, or in fact the grid, Michael Booth, would you like to maybe run us through the finishing positions, Michael?
Yep, no problem. Yep, NX Racing taking another win here, 30 seconds ahead of Asher Price Racing. Genuine Racing Pro another 50 seconds behind, so there was quite a few big gaps there after the initial safety car periods. Fourth place Team Rock Racing Pro, Co-Racing Pro 5th, and I think they lost that with running out of fuel and the puncture in the final lap. Team Virus Pro 6th. Genuine Racing Amateur, the first amateur car there, just 7 seconds ahead of Bazinga. Conquest Racing Amateur, their strategy of a long first stint working out there. And Dennis Lind, after his adventures, really, I could say, in 10th for Infinity Esports.
Is that it?
I'll let you do the next 10, well, but that's we can share.
Oh, sorry.
Take the next 10 then. Savage Sim Sports in 11th position with Martin Powers finishing driver. 12th position for Core Racing Amateurs. 13th position for Raptor Gaming, who had this very come together in the opening stages of the race with Conquest, flipping them. Last Lap Motorsports Amateurs in 14th position. They are in 6th place in class, in front of Team Rocky Racing, who 10 minutes before the end of the race were seen to win the class. That's how fast it can change. 16th position for Savage Sim Sports Pro, 17th for Last Lap Motorsports Pro. 18th HT Motorsport, 19th Challenge Racing Team, and 20th Team Rock Racing. And the last cast for you, Chris.
21st is Thilo. I wasn't ready for this. No, 21st is Angry Angus Racing. Don't forget to support their breast cancer charity by going to the track or tracker.neoracing.com. 22nd is WCL Racing, World Crash League Racing. 23rd is Absolute Beginners, and 24th are Revolutionary Racing. Yeah, is that right? So, joining us here in our hallowed commentary box is Inex Racing's Timu, Evening and Timu. What our lovely, beautiful, pretty race director has discovered and worked out for us is that you guys only need to start the next round, and so long as you don't do anything stupid, you'll take the championship home. How does that feel?
It feels pretty good. I was expecting us to already get it this round, if I can be a bit cocky. I knew me and Matti had the pace to win the race, so we were just hoping that the cards would just fell into our hands, so to speak, and it kind of looked pretty good there until the last stint. I think James fell off from third, so yeah, I mean, it's still fun to drive, so we're definitely gonna show up for the last round, even if we just need to do one lap. But
Smashing, and a difficult race for you guys as well, but managing to lead basically the whole thing, other than, of course, the first lap where you managed to get past on the first lap. How did that pan out for you, and how as well was that 20 minutes where we didn't really have much racing? How did that shape your strategy?
well, I mean, did we get overtaken at the start? I think I overtook Ilari at the start, and then the safety car came out, so I was the one controlling the field after that. But I mean, we didn't really have. We were just hoping that there was not going to be any safety car at the end. That's pretty much it. I knew that Mikko would keep it in second in the race as well. So we had a pretty good battle there with Ilari at the start in the first stint, but they fell off. I think they pitted really early, so they kind of fell off, and we just maintained the gap pretty much and just kept an eye on what everyone else was doing.
Team of the final race is Kyoto Grand Touring. Do you have much experience there, or how do you expect that to go for yourselves?
Personally, I've never driven the track, but that's just positive because that gives me a bit more motivation to practice for something new. And I mean, everyone pretty much has setups for all the normal tracks, so it's gonna be fun, at least for me, to try something new. And I hope we can just keep it up, even though it's the last round. Just keep it up the way we've been going all season, pretty much.
And finally, just on a general NX racing point, how did people do in iRacing today? Since I don't know.
Not too good. Jake only managed P8, or only, and Jason was involved in a first lap crash, so he got 22nd.
Spa, yeah, there's always incidents
There's
there.
always carnage turn one in Spa, isn't there? Especially when all those DWC morons get together and start having a party.
Exactly. And once again, I just want to thank you guys for doing the stream, and thanks to the administrations and Phil, of course, for keeping up the stream. I mean, it's been improving as long as the season has progressed. In my opinion, it's getting much more advanced and stuff, and it's a pleasure to watch it and listen to you guys.
Thank you
And
very
of course,
much, Team.
Thank you.
And of course, everyone else. Of course, everyone, all the other races as well. It's. I mean, all the guys. I don't really know anyone who's a bad person in LFS. So all the races are really good guys as well. It's a pleasure to race with everyone.
Thank you very much, Timu, and of course, a very, very well done today. Great race from you. Very, very comfortable as you take the lead and nigh on that elusive title. So then, I think all of us here in the commentary booth.
Do we have anyone else we could speak to?
Do we have anyone else, as a matter of fact?
I'll go and see if we have someone else in the other.
Go, Boothie. Boothie is now probing as we go and look for somebody else to talk to. Well, we'll talk very, very briefly about the next round, Thilo, won't we? No, we won't, because we've got Miro Rowdy here. Miro, hello.
Good morning.
Miro. Morning?
Yep.
That'll do, whatever. Good enough for me. Miro, how are you?
Not too bad. A bit tired, sweaty.
A bit tired, eh? A bit tired, a bit sweaty. You gotta have a shower. Sorry.
Getting excited.
Right, Mira. Drove for Team Virus today, and James got a little bit unlucky at the end. Talk us through that.
Honestly, I don't know. Only thing he told me that he crashed the car and he was swearing for another minute or so, and nothing else I could have done from then on. So I just kept quiet and chatted to my friends on Amazon, and that's all pretty much.
And your particular driving, how did that go? And how did you think the race gelled for you?
It was okay until, well, I was chasing core for about half an hour, and then I hit the wall in sector 2 and fell down a couple of seconds. So just from then on, I just kept it on track and tried to finish the stint without crashing the car too much.
Yep, and after qualifying in 7th place, 1 position gained. Is that a comfortable position for you? And are you happy? Are you happy with the end of the day as to where you finished and what you think?
Well, 6th is not too bad considering we started 9th last race and we finished 2nd. So we knew we would have a chance to gain a podium here, as we were going to until the last 20 minutes hit. But yeah, it was not too bad for qualifying.
Okay, thank you very, very much, Miro, for your insight into Team Virus Racing. We're going to try and get one Dennis Lind in here because A will be very entertaining, and B, I want him. So come hither, Dennis. Come hither. Michael Booth has gone to grab him by the skin of his teeth. By the skin of his teeth? Grab him by the scruff of his neck and bring him here, and here he is, the dirty man. Hello, Dennis.
How am I 30?
You love it, Dennis. You love it, really. How are you?
My shoulder sore and my wrist hurt, and I feel like taking a warm bath and then jump out the window.
Too much porn.
Yeah.
So, Infinity Esports. Jacob had a very, very difficult time, we assume, with the damage early on, and you took the helm after the first hour and managed to steer you guys back up to 10th place, and frustrating.
7th.
7th
yes.
place.
Well, you know, it was all right. The idea with bringing Jake into the race was obviously to improve his skill, and you know, I didn't really have any intentions of him staying in the top 10. I thought for a while he could do it, but the preparation for this race has been minimal. So I knew that it was going to be a sort of reconstruction once I got into the car and trying to get the car back into place. But you know, we had difficulties coming up the ladder again. It's a long way down. It's a well, it's not really nice to come up again.
Right. And as well, South City, a track that is very well known to be difficult for contact and very well known to be difficult for the walls, and damage being a major factor, and both of you two ended up having damage. How much did that really affect your races?
Well, it's hard to say. With the first few laps with the damages, it wasn't really a problem because you get obviously you get a lot shorter track with the car, and the width of the car is going to get a lot smaller as well. So you have a lot of rip just after the crash, and after that the tires start heating up, and you get a left front puncture, and right after you get a right rear puncture, and then you try to get in to get an overall 7th is a bit hard. But I don't know how it would look if I didn't get the damages, but I felt like I could have. At some point, I really felt like I was the quickest on the circuit, and I was really trying in the first stint to get the fastest lap, and I was pretty darn close to. But well, yeah, I'm just quite exhausted now, and just trying to look forward to the next round, really.
Well, we'll let you go and relax and have your hot bath.
Thanks.
Your rest, Dennis. Thank you very much for coming to join us.
Thank you.
He's quite the character, I think. So before we go, we'll take a quick look at the final, the top 3, the 2 podiums for the pro race. NX Racing took the win, of course. They only have to turn up next round to seal the championship for themselves. Asher Price Racing finished 2nd, and Genuine Racing finished 3rd. Meanwhile, in the amateur class, Genuine Racing Amateur extended their championship lead by winning the class. Bazinga finished 2nd, and Conquest Racing finished 3rd. So thank you very much to everyone who turned up, who made their impact on this race. Thank you so much to all of you, the viewers, as well as to our race administration team, Jonathan Palmer, Stuart Baker, a lot of them. I can't name every one of them because they're so incredible and epic, and we love them all here. Thank you very much for tuning in. Don't forget, next round is at Kyoto. That will be on the 29th of September, starting from 12 o'clock.
Yep, and thanks to all the commentators, Dom, Thilo, Chris, and some other Northern Spark. I can't believe it.
Yes. Thank you to all of them. So we'll see you next time out in Kyoto on the 29th of September. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been a great pleasure. We'll see you next time.
Bazinga!